going towards the south stand in the second half. No real wind or elements issues. They look at the flags on the far side. They look at a bit limp. No wind here, no rain. It's dry as those who live in Gloucestershire. It's actually quite a beautiful day in and around the Five Valleys. So I'd imagine it's just Boston trying to disrupt things. If I was going to go from right to left from where we're sat, going towards the south stand in the first half. Boston going from left to right. Boston in their away colours, the white top and red shorts and socks. Forest Green in their home kit, the lime green tops, bottoms and socks with the black and white smudged over the top of them. Referee just making sure both teams got 11. The goalkeepers are ready. Harrison Blair, the ref. And Forest Green will be kicking off. Biabu on the ball. You're actually going to go to the left-hand side. It goes to McAllister in the middle. So it's straight out for a throw-in when no Forest Green player is there at all. Not the best kick-off routine that from Forest Green.
No, definitely not. I think there was just a bit of miscommunication between Tate Campbell and Christian Doidge as to who was going to be the right runner off McAllister there, but straight out for a Boston throw-in.
Which they take quickly. It's congested around the ball. Boston look to win themselves a throw, but Kirkhoff heads it further up to the field for a throw to Boston. Looking to have a quick start. Throwing down the wing, which Kirkhoff heads backwards. Mendy mops up and clears upfield. Again for a throw. And Alfie, Boston, you can hear the ooze because it almost hit one of the media team going around the edge of the pitch. The ball going off. Boston playing some pretty decent football. They're going to a good run of form. They've gone to some tricky places and scores a lot of goals. Yeah,
absolutely. I think the 6-3 win over Scunthorpe away was probably the highlight of those. I mean, Paul Hurst done a brilliant job since he's returned back to Boston, with unbeaten in their last 6 with 4 wins and 2 draws. So yeah, absolutely a tough test this evening. Despite the fact that they're still 12 points off the playoffs, and you'd think it's a bit of an easier game for Forest Green given their run, it's absolutely not, for given their form that Boston are in.
Boston going on the left-hand side, looking for Biabu. The ball's just nipped away from him, quite dangerously by Jake Rooney. And the ball goes from one into the other. Eisted comes out of his area and hoofs it upfield. Doidge running after it, goes into the box, holds the ball up well, goes towards goal, but shrugged off the ball and goes into the keeper's hands. Call for it to be a pass back. I think it's headed back and it was deliberately to go there, but bit something out of nothing there. But Christian Doidge does what we know he can do and doesn't give up on a lost cause.
Yeah, and a lot of credit must go to Harry Eisted there. It's a brilliant ball through to Doidge, but well nestled into the path of the goalkeeper's gloves after Jake Rooney saw out Christian Doidge there.
Boston going forward down themselves. Maguire gets unmuscled off the ball, and Biabu clears long, looking for Doidge, can't win the flick on, and Boston found Teal, not the best ball forward, and Biabu goes past his man, draws Maguire in and goes back to Carnu. He's playing on the left-hand side of the back three. Kirkhoff in the middle and Mendy to the right. Mendy coming back into the starting lineup after not being involved at all in the matchday squad on Saturday. Doidge gets the flick on, can't find Reese straight away, but he is challenging and winning those 50-50s as Doidge. And Forest Green give away a free kick. Woku alleged to put the Boston player down to the floor. Boston fans have travelled in numbers, fair play to them. I'd say maybe just around 100 of them, so making a long way from one end of the country to the next, from east to west, as Carnu clears into the night sky, goes off for a throw-in, hitting the roof as you can hear just above us. A throw in Forest Green's way, took a deflection after the clearance. Biabu's been told to go back into the right position, and Maguire's not happy with that. And Carnu, I think, might have a little smile on his face. Was there a deflection then as he cleared up the field, Alfie?
I think that was a little bit lucky for Forest Green. This is just on a free kick there, and Paul Hurst, the manager, as well. I think he didn't even see the touch, and he's probably got the best view of that down there.
Forest going to have themselves a free kick. 10-15 yards inside the Boston half. McAllister to Tate. They've pushed everyone forward. All 3 defenders are up there. Biabu's a short option on the left. I imagine they'll go long. 4 minutes gone, still goalless. Forest with a set piece. McAllister, left-footed, placed into the penalty area. It's a bit overhit. The keeper has to come and punch the ball away. He gets a foul also. Kirkhoff adjusts to foul him. looked to be a bit under hit, but just swerved then, didn't it? And it put the Boston keeper Reece Love under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, it was actually a very good delivery from McAllister, and it certainly challenged Lovett. Just unlucky that Kirkhoff managed to give away the foul there, and an easy Boston free kick to keep the game goalless.
But it is after 4 minutes. Mendy not wearing the captain's armband today. Carl McAllister maintains it from Saturday. McAllister just one of 2 players, Alfie, who played in the return fixture earlier on in the season for Forest Green, who featured in both that game and today. The other one being Mendy. That was a 0-0 draw. Forest Green just playing out from the back as Mendy goes back to Eisted. Alfie, you got a smile on your face? Away to our right hand side. Alfie's also keeping an eye on scores elsewhere as Boston clear up and go forward. Over the top to Deutsch, brings the ball down well, but he's offside as he plays the ball into the back of the net. But unfortunately, Forest Green fans, the offside flag was up and Deutsch couldn't get that elusive goal the fans would love to see.
Well, I think the smile on my face must have been preempted there, because that was a brilliant ball into Christian Deutsch, and I was really hoping he was going to score that, just to get a little bit of confidence back in. But yeah, the linesman's flag goes back up.
And Forest Green are trying to find their voices a bit. The south stand away to our left just filled up actually the last few minutes. It was looking quite empty just before kick-off. A few of the fans have come away from the pubs. And the main stand we're in today, probably about half full. The Boston fans in the north stand today, Forest Green, can't even put one to cover. So the west terrace on the far side looking pretty empty. Throwing up the line for Forest Green. Which Boston win the first ball, Forest Green win the second. Reece tried to control it but gets dispossessed. So then the Forest Green half goes off for a Boston throw on the halfway line. Savage chips it up to Teal. 6 minutes gone, still goalless here on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Savage on his knees, bizarrely, watching the game. As the ball's played into the Forest Green area, Carnu clears. And as Boston just mop it from the back, going on the left-hand side. Good run from Irolu. Mendy chases him down. The ball stayed on as well, despite the protest from the Forest Green defence. And Boston playing the ball forward. Well intercepted there from Mendy. Draws in a couple of players. It's worked well. Forest Green drawing the press in. And Biabu can't control that cross-field ball. It goes off for a throw-in to Boston, and it was aerial, but it should have been an easy touch from Biabu. Had no player anywhere near him. Yeah,
I thought he had a lot of time there from McAllister's ball. I know it wasn't a brilliant ball at all, but yeah, definitely had a lot of time to keep that in the pitch. But Boston win another throw-in.
As Teal has this throw, let's see, Forest Green only tested the keeper on the set piece, but yet to really have a clear-cut chance. Boston have a fair bit of possession in the first 7 minutes. Teal hasn't taken a throw, eventually does so. It's a poor one and Woku clears. Teal gets the ball back though, flicks the ball forward. Kirkhoff calmly clears, side-footed, off for another Boston throw. Which takes quicker this time as Teal. Boston go back. Deutsch putting the defence under a bit of pressure. Might have won himself a throw, which Reece looks to take quickly, but it looks to go to Biabu instead. Again, Alfie, we've got our Deutsch tinted glasses on as Biabu gets the ball away cheaply yet again, and Boston go forward. Eisted sees it into his box well. Just doesn't give up and just has a presence and causes issues and errors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can see it from that ball there from Boston, just playing it backwards into really dangerous territory, especially when you've got a proven goal scorer like Deutsch and Reece on their tails.
Biabu's got space on the left-hand side, does a lot better to keep that ball on, which wasn't perfect to him. Cuts inside and plays it back to Khan. A bit of trickery, continues his run. Woku looking to find him, but goes in the middle instead. He was well marshalled, was Biabu. A bit concerned then as the ball forward to Mendy almost got intercepted. But Forest still maintain possession. Biabu wins himself a throw, which Khan looks to take quickly. Forest with a bit of momentum. Carnu Goes long down the field, looking for Doige, finds Doige, and his header goes behind. Can Reese keep it on? He can, he's offside. As the whistle gets blown against him. Sloppy there from Reese, you got to say, because Doige did so hard to just get a touch onto it, but somehow Reese was offside.
Yeah, and it was definitely into the right area. It was a good run from Ricardo Reese, to even get there, but yeah, just unfortunate to be offside there.
The reason Alfie was smiling, and it's rumours at the moment, and we'll talk to Savage after the game. Apparently, the news from some of the fans behind the goal is that he invited Savage, a couple of them, to do the team talk before the game today, as Mendy heads upfield. That's unconfirmed, but we will talk to Savage after the game to see if that's true. I wouldn't be surprised. He's offered it before as Savage. As Boston go forward, tap it to the left-hand side. Ball into the area, which is dealt with half by Kirchhoff. Fully done so by McAllister. Can't find Doige or Ricardo Reese. Theo gets the ball back, tap to the right-hand side of Gallagher, who's crossing to the box, is blocked by Biarbrough. Not a bad game, the first 10 minutes, still goalless. And if it's true, I think it's a big if about Savage asking the fans to do a team talk. It's bold of him, but he's said it before, hasn't he? Do you want to do the team talk? And he wants to galvanise his players. As the ball's played into the box, it's dealt with half by Kirkhoff, but the ball goes behind him and off for a goal kick. A few calls for a penalty from the referee. Eventually gives the penalty. Took a long time to think about it, but the player goes down to the floor, diving header, taken down by someone from Forest Green, and a penalty's been given.
Well, similarly to Saturday, that took a very, very long time to give the penalty there. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I think it was Ahmed who's made the foul, but I'm not sure on the Boston player who it is. I think it was Greg Sloggett. But yeah, it took an awful long time to give that.
Sloggett did go for the header, and there was a player on them. It could have been a foul, but it was the fact the referee took so long to give it. The assistant referee maybe had a better view. It might be the right choice to do so, but Forest Green now has to defend a penalty after 11 minutes. Forest Green haven't had a clean sheet in the league at home since September. Is that run going to continue? From the penalty spot, Boston 12 yards out.
I think it's Maguire to take.
Maguire looking to take against Eisted to go 1-0 up. Goes and he scores! Boston go in front after 11 minutes from the penalty spot through Frankie Maguire. Well placed, sending Eisted the wrong way. And yet again, Forest Green at home find themselves 1-0 down.
And even, well, as much as say it was well placed, it was also a very well delivered penalty. I'm sure there's going to be more questions about how that penalty was given, but a great finish from Maguire to put Boston 1-0 up. Yet again, the
controversy again. Savage having a chat with the referee, and it's all got the replays here. And Savage would have seen replays as well. Can't need too much about that. Forest Green a goal to 0 down. Alfie's having the pleasure of looking at TV screens as well. What's the original thought?
There's definitely a bit of contact from Ahmed there on Sloggett, but I'm really surprised at how long it's taken to give him the decision, first and foremost, really.
It's one of those, isn't it? When he doesn't give anything, and then eventually does so, it does just create questions of, was he 100% sure? Maybe, look, they're mic'd up. I'm sure the assistant referee was 100% sure. But doesn't matter now. Forest Green are 1-0 down. There could be two though, as Boston coming forward on the break. They've got options to hit in the middle. Can they go find Maguire? But it's well found from Mendy, who intercepts and finds Eisted. Good defending, but that could have easily been two. Yeah, it was a brilliant run. I think it was Kerson's, and he's certainly been Boston's danger man in recent weeks. A hat-trick up at Scunthorpe the other week. So yeah, Forest Green really need to keep an eye on him. So going back to the penalty, as Forest Green looking to go long, Ricardo Reese makes it back for himself but can't control it second time. Might have won himself a throw, he has done. Yeah, Ahmed fouled, well, that's what the referee said, in the penalty area, and as Jimmy Biarbrough himself a free kick. There was a header going in, and if there was contact, then maybe the referee's justified making the decision. It's just the time, but if that makes the right decision, then that's the good outcome. Referee today, Harrison Blair. But for Forest Green there, Alfie, yet again going behind, and yet again not having a clean sheet at home in the league since September. It's pretty hard work for Forest Green. Yeah, a lot of the time Forest Green have had to come from behind, especially at home. I was reading the other day, looking at the stats between first half and second half. Puts the ball into the area, goes over the top. Kirkhoff on the far post, puts the ball back in, but it's blocked and goes off for a throw. It's well kept in from Boreham Wood, and it goes off for a throw. Wasn't well kept on.
But just going back to that about the first half and the second half, I think Forest Green at home were lower to mid-table, and the second half I think they were away at top. So it really speaks to how much they do try and come from behind, but they have to cut out these early goals from the away side.
I don't think they're awful today, Forest Green. Boston have had the penalty and they've made the most of it. That's probably the best chance. Doige with the header, looking to find Reese, but he can't control it. Goes off for a Boston throw. Before that penalty shout, eventually given, we're talking about allegedly Savage asking the fans, a couple of fans, to do the team talk before. If it was true, and again we don't know if it is, we'll talk to Savage after the game. Publicity stunt, is it going to do anything? It's not worked in the first 10 minutes. Forest going to goal to 0 down as Ahmed goes on forward and wins himself a free kick. Interesting decision for him to ask the fans to go into the dressing rooms before the game.
Yeah, I think he definitely has said about it before, especially after defeats at home. He sort of said, I really wish that he could have been in there with me, just giving the team talk. But yeah, it's an interesting one if true.
BRB can't find Doige. Boston clear long and goes up to Highstead, who clutches it, bowls out to the right hand side. Finding Mendy. Goes back to Kirkhoff. To Kanu. On the left. Clips the ball forward. Can't find BRB. Can't find Doige though. Woku in the middle picks the ball up. Looking to go down the right hand side, finds Ahmed, goes into the penalty area, got options in the middle, goes back to McAllister, clips the ball in towards the far post, can't find Biabu, heading off for Forest Green corner, their first of the game, and Forest Green playing some pretty good football in that build-up.
Yeah, it's very good work from Ahmed and McAllister down there. I actually thought the cross from McAllister was pretty much inch perfect, especially on his weaker foot, off balance as well. So yeah, Boston have done well to clear their lines, but an even better cross from McAllister.
It's Forest Green 0, Boston 1 after 16 minutes on Steve Kitchen's Match Night on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Biabu to take this corner. There's a bit of pushing and shoving on the penalty spot. Forest Green's keeping the defence busy of Boston. Ricardo Reese in the 6-yard box, everyone else the edge of the area, and that's a poor corner because it's just played straight into the Boston player in the 6-yard edge of the 6-yard area. I don't know what the plan was there, Alfie. Yeah,
I've certainly seen some set piece routines in my time watching Forest Green, but that was definitely an interesting one, straight to the front man on the floor.
Forest Green still have possession now, and the big men's still up. Woku found on the right hand side, being well marshalled though, turns past his man and drives on forward into the penalty box now, taps to the right. Can Mendy keep the ball on by the corner flag? He can. Back to McAllister, clips the ball in towards the far post. Doige is there with the header across goal, and not the best clearance there from Boston first time, but do second time, and there was excitement there, wasn't there, as Doige got that header, but it's just too far away to try and get enough power placement onto it.
He's certainly been very impressive in his opening 17 minutes as well. I think he's won pretty much everything with Forest Green in the air.
He is doing really well, Doige. Just the work rate, we know he can give in. Forest Green through Campbell, goes to the middle. Does he win himself a throw? No, he doesn't. Goes Boston's way. 17 minutes gone. Forest Green 0, Boston 1, going ahead from the penalty spot. And now for a few other goals in the National League.
Yeah, certainly been a few. Rochdale 1, Halifax 0, Scunthorpe losing 1-0 at home against York, and Boreham Wood 1-0 against Southend. Tamworth, Altringham's 0-0, and Wealdstone Brackley's 0-0.
That means nothing though for Forest Green if they can't pick up anything here. At the moment they're on 0 points, with Boston in by that penalty from Maguire, goal to 0. Biabu going down the left, shrugs off a challenge. Can he control the bouncing ball? He can't, because the ball's nipped off him for a throw, which Biabu thinks about taking quickly. He finds McAllister at the left hand side of the area. He's got 2 men on him, goes past both, runs into the third and gives the ball away. You can hear the groans for that. Kirkhoff tries to head the ball back, and the offside flag eventually goes up against Tom Kersons. That was very late, thankfully for Forest Green, and also the ball actually came off a deflection on the clearance.
Yeah, I think Gabe Kirkhoff can probably breathe a bit of a sigh of relief there, as Kersons was just running in behind, and just seeing that linesman's flag there, I think Kirkhoff would be absolutely delighted, because he was certainly under pressure.
But I guess he would say he was offside, therefore that's why I was under pressure. Woku to Campbell. Looks up and sees Ahmed on the right, but goes to the left of Woku. Clips the ball forward, looking for Doyle. He wasn't expecting that. And his first touch isn't the best, and gives away a cheap free kick, which Boston aren't in a rush to take. They're not time wasting. It's only 19 minutes gone, but they're away from home at Forest Green, winning by a goal to nil. They're not going to rush to take anything.
No, absolutely not. And it's a real credit to Boston as well. I mean, the way they've started the season under the different manager in Graham Coughlin, and I mean the experience that Paul Hurst has brought back into this club as well. It's been really, really impressive for them, and they've really come away as well, which surprised me. I looked before the game and they were sick for away from home.
Poor free kick from Lovett, the Boston keeper, 1-3. They've had a great turnaround of form under Paul Hurst. Only 12 points. Well, they were 12 points before kick-off away from the playoffs. Probably be a bit closer now, as they're currently getting all three here from Forest Green. A lot of football still to play, and they're looking to get a second as the ball's played powerfully in towards the far post and inches away from Kersons, and goes off for a throw into Forest Green. And wow, Alfie, Forest Green have had actually a few warning shots on Boston after going 1-0 down.
Absolutely, it's a brilliant cross. I'm not sure who actually played it, but yeah, to try and find Kersons at the back post, as I mentioned earlier, has been a real danger man for Boston in recent weeks, so you can't leave him unmarked at the back post.
As it stands, Forest Green 6th place on 59 points. Halifax, the team below them, the dotted line of the playoffs, on 51. The gap shortening. Boston on 53 points, so 9 points away from those playoff positions. They want to try and sneak in towards the end of the season. Boston with the ball in the Forest Green half, looking comfortable with it. And Forest Green through Mendy, try and get the ball back and do so successfully, and can't find McAllister on the right hand side to break forward. Forest Green are goal to nil down, but I don't think they've been playing as poorly as they have, the Carlisle first half. Savage just saying they're awful. They're not as bad as that, are they, today, I don't think? No,
definitely not, but I just think there's been a few late passes from the midfield, just trying to find the wingers to just unleash that attack, but it really hasn't happened, and they've ultimately gone out for a lot of Boston throw-ins.
Yeah, it's Biabu and Ahmed haven't been unleashed yet. Forest Green give away a cheap throw-in then. Ahmed under a little bit of pressure. Boston fans are the happiest at the moment, as the ball from the Thrones played in towards the edge of the area. Some good football to do so, but eventually cleared by Kanu. Not the most convincing ones, but it might be kept on by Biabu. Gets the ball headed off him. And Boston through. Teal goes down the right. Back to Maguire to the area. There's an acre of space for Gallagher. Boston playing the ball around the penalty area. Long range shot goes in. Eisted sees it off to his left hand side. Through a save or deflection, and the warning shots keep coming. Yeah,
and it was Greg Sloggett again. It was a brilliant effort as well from the midfielder. I definitely think that took a deflection rather than a save. But yeah, here come Boston once again.
As we said before the game, in the bench, quickly go through it. Pagel subkeeper, Kangley, Horton, Knowles, Clark, Bunker, Morrison. No real other strikers to bring on if, and as it has happened, when Forest Green go behind. No Babalola or Mitchell involved in the matchday squad. Corner to Boston. They're first. Played powerfully into the penalty area. Goes over the bar through the header of Gallagher for Forest Green Rovers goal kick. And Alfie, some goals in the Champions League.
Yeah, Newcastle are 2-0 up against Qarabag through Sandro Tonali on 4 minutes and Joe Linton on 6.
Well, it's Forest Green 0, Boston 1 here on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Again, Jimmy Biabi can't be found. You're right, Alfie, just the wing-backs aren't really working for Forest Green. Boston go back to the keeper of Lovett, who plays it high into the night sky. Big head up from Kirkhoff, well won, but can't find a Forest Green Rover teammate, and Boston again first to it. Find Teal. Back to Richards. Savage pretty angry at the moment with his team. Might be more angry soon, because Boston again come forward. The decent chance at the edge of the area. Played to Maguire, back heel, the shot comes in, it's saved into the Eisted. The second round rebound goes off for a goal kick. That could have easily been 2, Alfred, we say it yet again, but that was some beautiful build-up and play from Boston.
Yeah, well, what a brilliant bit of play that was. I think it was Maguire and Gallagher had linked up in the middle to find Kersons and then slog it once again. But yes, really, really liquid football there from Boston, I have to say, and Forest Green are really lucky not to be 2-0 down.
Well, we've seen it, haven't we, recently, Boston. They've scored some really good goals. And that would have been one of them. Khan, who goes long. Look at McAllister, he's onside. Can he bring the ball down? Well, he can't. And that was just a good touch away from being through on goal. I mean, probably actually, to be fair, expect better McAllister. Boston try and go forward. Mendy gets the work for Forest Green. Finds Ahmed on the right. Runs into a bit of traffic and forced to play the ball back to Campbell. Plays slow down to Mendy. Looking for Giarbi on the left, who just about keeps it on. Again, not being found perfectly, Giarbi. No fault of his own. There's a poor pass to him. It goes to Kanu on the halfway line. Looks to go past his man. Finds Giarbi on the left. He gets dispossessed. And it goes off for a Boston throw. Savage, not the referee. I think they're saying that Maguire went down a bit easily. Fair play to the referee, gave the throw, not the free kick. But going back to that McAllister chance, you look over the top. Ball over the top to him, onside, just his touch let him down, which is a surprise.
Yeah, and it was even better work from Jamie Grimes as well, who cleared the ball very, very well. But yeah, I think that's probably a letdown for Forest Green that he couldn't really be able to find through.
Mendy clips the ball forward, looking for Doidge, brings the ball down well, but just runs into a bit of traffic, and Boston come away with it successfully, and Campbell gives away a cheap free kick there. Referee's having a chat to him. Again, Boston playing some really good football. No surprise to those Boston fans watching and listening at home. They're playing some really good football, a good run of form. Forest Green, in truthfulness, aren't, as Kirkhoff sees the ball played over the top of him. Mendy really, really intelligently makes it back for himself and ushers Curzons away from the ball, because it looked to be through on goal after Kirkhoff gave the ball away cheaply.
Well, we're just saying about the football that Boston have been playing. This is Forest Green's probably first real move, but a lot of the time the ball has been played over the top trying to search for Christian Doidge.
And it's found there, but the ball goes into the hands of Reece Lovett, the Boston keeper, who's not had too much to do. A few balls into the box he's dealt with, and that was poor distribution from him. Might go straight off for a throw in the Forest Green half. It does. Isa thinks about taking it. Does he throw it to Mendy? He does. The keeper takes a throw in. No Boston player anywhere around him. And there's always one of those nuances you quite like to see, don't you, when a keeper just takes a throw.
Certainly don't see it very often.
It's not like they're chasing the game in the last minute. They are chasing the game. It's only 26 minutes gone. It's Forest Green 0, Boston 1. Boston playing some decent football yet again. Finding Gallagher on the halfway line. Drawing the pressing from Forest Green, playing it to the left. Good ball to him as well, and Ahmed deals with. Could be some change on the bench, you know, for Forest Green. Is that Clark getting...
I think it's Elijah Morrison looking to get ready to come on.
Who could that be for then?
Certainly an interesting one. I wonder whether there might be a change of shape, similar to how we saw against Carlisle at home a fortnight ago. Week ago even.
Would they put McAllister further up? I don't know who we might bring off. He's been a bit frustrated at times, has Savage. Interesting to see who the change is going to be. It's reactive. But Forest going to got a defender free kick first. In there in half, midway through it. Quickly taken, and good set piece routines played in second phase of vulnerability of Forest Green. Nice and flaps off it, and it was cleared off the line. There from Ahmed, off for a corner, and that was some great training ground stuff there from Boston. Yeah,
and an even better block from the on loan Reading fullback there. I mean, how that's not gone in, I'm really not sure. Boston should be 2-0 up and cruising at the minute, but yeah, brilliant block from Ahmed.
Yeah, and you've got to say, good set piece routine. They played it short, draw a man in, and there's always been a bit of a vulnerability putting the ball in second time. 28 minutes gone, Boston lead by goal to nil. They got their second corner. Played short, played in towards the far post, heads go up, and it's in for Boston! They've got the second. Played in second time from a set piece. I think it might have been Grimes with the goal. Powerful header. Boston didn't pick him up. Last 28 minutes, they're 2-0 down. Well,
it's another set piece that Forest Green have conceded as well, and a former Forest Green man, Jamie Grimes, as well, on loan back in 2010, but a brilliant bullet header to put Boston 2 goals ahead after 28 minutes.
Another set piece has been their undoing. They played it short to Maguire, putting it in. They didn't pick up the Club captain Grimes, powerful header, decent header, but Forest Green vulnerability, some set pieces show again, and 2-0 down. Forest Green find themselves. Savage sent all the bench to warm up. Well, I don't think any subs can make too much difference. Just poor defending from a set piece yet again.
Yeah, no, I actually think Harvey Bunker's just come across, potentially coming on as well. I think panic button's almost looking like they're being hit a little bit here from Forest Green.
Wow, 29 minutes gone, Forest Green, 2-0. Gotta say, it's going with the form, but not necessarily the table. But in terms of the form, Boston is a great run of it. Winning 4 of their last 5. Forest Green have only won 1 of their last 5. Campbell to Mendy. Sacked in the morning as the Boston fans chant to Savage. McAllister picks up the second ball. Taps it to Biabi on the left. With a few step overs, plays the ball into the 6-yard box. The third of Doig goes over the bar. And you've got to say, that's one of those that Christian Doig will be pretty frustrated with, because on those sort of angles and that sort of glancing header, you trust Doig to hit the target. Yeah,
it was a brilliant cross from Biabi as well. A proper deep cross to try and find Doig. And a good header as well, just unable to be directed towards the back of the net. It stays 2-0.
Bunker to come on then. I think Morrison might not be. And here comes those changes. Bunker coming on, and it is for Carnu. A defender for a defender. Has he been as bad as anyone else, do you reckon, Carnu, defensively? Unless they're going to change formation and go back to a 4-man defence.
Well, I think that's the option that you've got with Harvey Bunker as well, is he can play in the midfield as well, alongside defence, but it looks like he's actually going into more of a defensive role here, and Mendy might be pushed forward.
Yeah, so Kirkhoff and Bunker being the 2 centre-backs. Mendy pushed on forward. Bunker immediately tested, gets shrugged off the ball, and the ball goes into Eisted's penalty area. You didn't need to make that change, though, to change formation. Mendy could have gone into the midfield with Carney staying on the pitch and Kirkhoff playing alongside him. So yes, there's been a tactical change, but not necessarily needing the personnel to do so.
Yeah, nothing really changed, just apart from the personnel, like you say. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, Mendy's the player who's changed formation, but he was starting anyway. Plays the ball forward and gives the ball away in a dangerous position, and he could be at fault for another goal for Boston as they go forward to the left-hand side. Forest Green trying to track back in numbers. Bunker gets out-jumped and gives away a free kick in a dangerous position, just a couple of yards outside the edge of the area to Eisted's right-hand side. Let's hope Forest Green defend these set pieces better than they have done previously. Savage looking pretty frustrated, sat on the advertising boards. Free kick though for Boston. It's to make them 3-0 up. It's currently Forest Green 0, Boston 2. And this is a danger area, isn't it, Alfie?
Absolutely, and I full credit to Boston. They've been really, really good on the break. I mean, we've seen it already since Paul Hurst has come into the club, how many times they can score goals at teams, you know, away around the top of the league. A couple at York, 6 at Scunthorpe, and it could be 3 here.
Well, it's a big moment. 3-0 down. Forest Green could be, or just the 2, depending on this free kick comes in now. Lining up to take it, goes over the bar, significantly so, off for Forest Green Rovers goal kick. So let's take up quickly. To be over to the left-hand side. Fair play to Boston, they got back into their position quickly. Mendy found. Plays it to the right, to Woku. Woku to the right-hand side, finds McAllister. Back to Woku. Looking to find Mendy at the edge of the area, does so. Plays the ball off for a, well, almost thrown. Biabi does well to keep the ball on. Another poor ball to him, but he does get there. It's played towards the far post, and Boston with head the ball clear. Back to McAllister, whose header goes behind him, and Boston clear upfield, and Bunker calmly leaves the ball for Eisted. Change formation in Alfie. It's just an out-and-out 4-4-2 from Forest Green.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it could be that way. I'm just trying to work it out myself, to be honest. Biabi's definitely on the left wing. McAllister's now moved out to the right-hand side. And obviously, I think you've got a midfield 3 of Mendy, Campbell and Nwoko, so...
Yeah, it's Biabi as left back. Mendy to McAllister. Forest Green trying to play on forward, so the formation isn't settled at the moment. Bunker on the halfway line. Forest Green 2-0 down. McAllister, his ball into the box is blocked. And Boston come away with it. Powerfully played upfield. Bunker looking to play it back to Isted. It's a poor one. Isted heads the ball away from danger, and Bunker puts his hand up to apologise. Isted had to come out of his area to head the ball away from the unrunning Cursons. And Bunker's not actually done too much right since come off the bench.
No, he hasn't. And Harry Isted, I think he's probably done more things as an outfield player tonight than he has as a goalkeeper as well. He's taken a throw in, come out for a header. Yeah. Certainly things you don't really see from a goalkeeper.
He's letting 2 goals as well, unfortunately. One from the penalty spot, the other from a corner. You can't put too much blame on Freed, actually. Forest can have a throw in their own half, taken quickly to Bunker, who hoofs it upfield. Can't find Deutsch. Campbell picks up the loose ball. It's find Ricardo Reese, who you've got to say has been quiet in the first 35 minutes of the game. Plays it to Biabu, continues his run. It opens up for Biabu, who plays it cross field looking for McAllister. Didn't want it there, but he does control it. It's given Boston enough time to come back and defend. Mendy edge of the area, clips towards the far post, looking to find Reese, who is there on the far side. Poor touch from him. And Boston managed to clear, but Kirkhoff picks up the second ball, calls him to shoot, plays towards the area, looking for Deutsch. Got his shirt pulled back, but the referee gave nothing. I reckon it's one of those. If Deutsch went down, it would have been a decision for the referee to make there.
I agree.
Biabu shows too much of the ball and Boston clear upfield. But yeah, he was always too honest then. He went on forward towards the aerial ball and had his shirt pulled back.
Yeah, it's certainly something he can't do. I mean, he's already in the air by the time he's had his shirt pulled back, so yeah.
The referee's already given 1 penalty. Wouldn't mind giving one their way. Woku looks for options, sees Biabu on the left, it's a good better ball to him. Goes in towards the penalty area, a few step overs, plays the ball across goal, blocked from the Boston defence and cleared. Kirkhoff first onto the loose ball and plays the ball back to Isted. Back to Bunker. Forest Green have got possession, but Boston have got this 2-0 lead, so they're not in any rush. McAllister down the wing, looking for Ahmed, who manages to keep the ball on. No, he doesn't. Gets ushered off for a goal kick Boston's way. Yeah, because Forest Green, they've got possession now, but Boston don't really need to do anything at the moment. Just sit back and come and get us. Try and score 2 goals to try and draw things level. Yeah,
it almost seems a little bit too comfortable from Boston at the moment, but I mean, full credit to them. They've been excellent in this first half. Really, really good on the break. And it's just Forest Green once again chasing the game.
They are 2-0 down, 36 minutes gone here on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Forest Green already gone to the bench, taking off Carno, bringing on Bunker. Change formation as well, and there's going to be a yellow card for Reese Lovett for taking too long with this goal kick. Just for time wasting. And I guess that does show something when the keeper gets a yellow card for time wasting in the first half. Lovett. Benchy does go long. Bunker wins that header, but second ball won by Boston. Armin plays the ball back to Isted. Goes long looking for Deutsch. Deutsch rises, gets out jumped. But second ball won by Mendy. Looking comfortable on the ball is Mendy. Pushed up into midfield. Campbell falls back to Kirkhoff, who's under a bit of pressure, but confident touch around him. Take it past Maguire. Back to Ahmed. To Campbell's being quickly harassed and gets dispossessed. And here comes Boston looking to make it 3. It's a foot race that Bunker loses out on. Here comes Boston 1-on-1. Goes past Isted and scores for Boston. It's their third. Curzon's on the break. Celebrates in front of the delirious Boston fans. And Forest Green find themselves 3-0 down after 38 minutes.
I think it was Austin Gallagher who played that ball, and what a brilliant ball it was to find the danger man Curzons. And this is an unbelievable performance from Boston in this first half. But we knew they were capable of it before the game. So absolute credit to Paul Hurst's side.
Good ball for him, to him. Bunker, he knew he could have taken him down, but then he would have probably got sent off. It could have been something much worse, so didn't really commit too much to him. And then Curzon calmly played it past Isted, and well, Forest Green, yet again for the second game in a row, find themselves 3-0 down in the first half.
Yeah, and the problem is with things like that, you know, we looked at the Carlisle game a fortnight ago, and really it was too late by the time the second half had started. Yes, Forest Green were a much better side in that second half, but ultimately it was a little too late.
Are you Scunthorpe in disguise as the calls from Boston? Look, they scored a lot of goals against some good teams. They scored 3 against Forest Green. They've certainly got a shout. Yes, as it stands, they're 9 points away from it. Getting into the playoffs the way they're playing in this part of the season. Biabu on the left-hand side plays the ball in towards the far post. Still there for Forest Green. Ahmed has the ball at the edge of the area. Goes into the box, plays it into the area. It's blocked from the Boston defence. They've sat back in numbers, which they did earlier on, but they've scored on the break from Curzons. McAllister has a long-range shot. It goes wide for a goal kick. And well, if Forest Green get a goal back for half-time, there might be a glimmer, but Boston just, well, looking like, as we've expected in their run of form, best of the two teams.
Well, absolutely, and every time they've been on the break, they've certainly looked a threat against this Forest Green's defence at the moment. And I mean, can't discredit Harvey Bunker too much, but I really don't think he's been very good since he's come on at all.
I don't think he's added to the game, has he, Bunker, when he's placed in Carnu. Wins that header though. Reese finds McAllister, takes the ball past his man down the right hand side. Runs into traffic though, goes past one challenge and wins himself a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card for the Boston player. If Forest could get a goal back, there might be a bit of belief, but still. They were poor in the first half against Carlisle and they're 3-0 down. You've got to say they're not as poor, but they're to be 3-0 down. You're not playing well though. Is it defensively again? I guess they've not had a chance of going forward. Cheap penalty to give away. Didn't defend the set piece. Caught with a long ball over the top for Curzon to make his third. You're getting sacked in the morning as the calls from the Boston fans. McAllister on this set piece, try and get a goal back. They conceded 3 and scored none so far, Forest Green. The arc seems to be over it as well. I'm sure it's going to be McAllister. And the referee is making sure the ball's in the exact right position. McAllister and Gidebiaba over this. McAllister to take. Powers it into the wall. Shin height as well. Not too much any issues for the wall, and goes off for a Forest Green throw. Yeah, what have Forest Green done going forward? I guess they've not really created any chances. Doige with a header.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I can really think of, is that brilliant Biabu cross from the left hand side to find Doige. But yeah, aside from that, it's been relatively quiet from Forest Green's point of view.
Quiet from the fans around us. You heard the boos after the third went in. 3-0 down in the first half again. Ahmed puts the ball into the area, can't find Doige. Goes back to Biabu. In the box now, Biabu. A few step overs. Plays it into the left hand side. It gets blocked and off for a Forest Green throw. It's going to be a bit massive team talk from Savage. Yes, Forest Green are at the moment comfortably in the playoffs, but if this run of form continues, wow, what's the rest of the season look like? And as we said earlier, Alfie, I wouldn't write off Boston getting to the playoffs the way they're playing and how many games they've got left to play.
No, definitely not. They've been excellent in recent weeks.
As Gidebiaba goes to the edge of the area, gets his shot blocked, gets the ball back though. He's got a plethora of options in the area. He's being blocked at the moment, can't go anywhere. Taps back to Woku, to Mendy, but can't find Mendy, and Woku gives the ball back. It could have easily broke again, could Boston. Woku to Ahmed on the right, edge of the area, plays the ball into the box. Doige can't be found, and goes back to Gidebiabu, who sees the ball played off for a corner, saved on the near post. Only Forest Green's second. Quickly after a few other goals in the National League.
Yeah, it's Rochdale 1, Halifax 0, York 2, Scunthorpe 0, Borehamwood 1, Southend 0, Tamworth 1, Altrincham 0, and Wilston 1, Brackley 0.
I guess in terms of how that stands on Forest Green, as the ball from the corner is not the best, and cleared all the way back to Isted, the Forest Green keeper. If Rochdale and York are winning, I guess that's fine. They've kind of cemented their first and second spots. Bournemouth and Southend are taking points off each other. But again, means nothing if Forest Green play like this, and they just give the ball away yet again. Could Boston score a fourth, but Bunker intercepts the ball over the top to Curzons, who would have been through on goal yet again.
That was absolutely vital from Harvey Bunker. I know I've said he has been a bit poor since he's come on, but yeah, much better there from Harvey Bunker, as that could have easily been 4.
McAllister looking for BRB on the left-hand side. Plays the searching ball towards the far post. Easily dealt with the Boston defence. Goes off for a goal kick. Goes off Armin Shins, who wasn't expecting it there. And it looks like Boston will like to score 4th and Forest Green to score 1.
But there's full credit to Boston as well, though, because the fact that they're 3-0 up and still chasing more really speaks a lot about how this team has changed over the last 6 months or so.
Goal kick to Boston. Lovett's on a yellow card for time wasting. He's going to be a bit quicker to take this. Bunker's header not the best, and Ahmed doesn't do well either. Gets dispossessed, and Boston play the ball over the top. Yarby doesn't challenge it. Thankfully, the touch isn't the best from Gallagher. It goes off for a goal kick. Just 2 minutes of time added on, which I'm surprised with, considering there's been 3 goals and a yellow card for time wasting already. We're in that 2 minutes now. Forest Green 3-0 down. Woku down the right to find Ahmed. Runs into traffic and Boston easily clear. Bunker heads the ball off for a throw to Boston. Forest Green don't look like they've got too much identity. I don't know what they're exactly planning to do. Yes, they've got possession now, but Boston are just sitting deep comfortably. Yeah,
and I think it's really, looking at it before the game, it really had to be a game that Forest Green tried to get a bit of momentum from, but I mean, this first half performance has been anything but trying to find momentum.
Well, they're looking poor again. Biabu crosses the halfway line. Runs into traffic, but still has possession. Gallagher putting the pressure onto him. Finds Ricardo Reese on the left. Goes to the edge of the area. Back to Mendy, looks up for options. Finds Ahmed, edge of the box, calls him to shoot. Finds it to McAllister, clips the ball into the area. Can't find Deutsch, and Bunker picks up the scraps at the edge of the area, calls him to shoot. He responds by doing so into the hands of Lovett, who comfortably clutches it. And there's ironic cheers for a shot on target for Forest Green.
Yeah, I think a few shots of Eve had a shot as well, but yeah, ultimately it was good effort from Harvey Bunker, but just not powerful enough to really test Lovett too much.
Deutsch maintains possession and gives away a free kick due to a foul. This is the last 5 seconds of the 2 minutes added on. Ricardo Reese, not seeing much of him in this first half either, have we?
No, he's been quiet again today. Just really surprising, especially when he's working in the front 2 with Christian Deutsch up there.
This probably will be it for action in the first half. You'll hear the half-time whistle with the boos that come around the new lawn. And there they are. No surprise either, because Forest Green are 3-0 down. The first coming from the penalty spot. Maguire, after 12 minutes, Ahmed adjudging to pull back the flying head of the Boston player. The referee, after a good 5-6 seconds, points to the spot. Maguire slotted home from it. Grimes, after 29 minutes, from a corner which Forest Green didn't defend well, with a powerful header. And the third coming from a break and a ball over the top to Curzons, and he got played through one-on-one and confidently finished past Isted. In terms of Forest Green chances, Deutsch with their header, a long range effort for Bunker, but yet again a really, really poor first half performance from Forest Green.
Yeah, and I've just noticed Robbie Savage having a quick chat with Tom Knowles there, just on the touchline before they went back into the tunnel, so I wonder if that might be food for thought for a change going into the second half.
Well, they need to do something, Forest Green. Yet again, for the second home game in a row, they find themselves 3-0 down at half-time.
Any thoughts of putting Mendy into midfield then, if they're losing that midfield battle and then they're not creating anything?
Well, they made the changes when the Carlo came off and Bunker came on, and Mendy got pushed into midfield, but didn't really do much anyway. I think the Forest Green just looked naive everywhere across the pitch. I think it was a strange substitution because they didn't need to bring Carney off to put Mendy in the midfield. They changed to that 4 at the back instead of the 5 at the back, and Mendy got pushed up, and Carney got, what you've got to say, dragged off because they didn't really need to do anything. But Mendy, he hasn't come on the ball, hasn't he, Alfie, to be fair? He's not giving anything away.
No, exactly, and the problem is it's just trying to find those wing backs as Forest Green to really unleash their attacks, but it just hasn't happened for him. I really can't work it out, but yeah, it certainly seemed a strange substitution, but I'm sure we'll find out from Robbie Savage after full time.
I don't know what they do now either, because like we said before the game, they're striking options, because they haven't got Babalola, they haven't got Mitchell, neither are featuring on the subs bench at all today. They've made the one change. Yes, they've got Knowles, you said, got the tap on the shoulder from Savage. Morrison looked to be coming on in the first half, might be coming on in the second half. But what options are there, Alfie, really, to make any change? Where do you think, he's a threat, he could score goals on the bench?
Well, the problem is it's a lot of like-for-like changes on that bench if you're really going to change too much. I mean, you can't really change much up front when you've got Ricardo Rees and Christian Doidge up there, because ultimately, like we've said, there are no strikers on the bench, well, out-and-out strikers. So it'll certainly be interesting.
Horton maybe can make a difference if he's in the good.
Then it sounds like they need some possession, really, doesn't it? I mean, if they're not, they've got to score 3 goals at least to get anything out of this game. Now they've got to get a hold of the ball. They've got to keep the ball, win the ball, and build some sort of momentum. Yeah, exactly. Just
that's
create.
the thing, because Boston are going to sit deep. They're going to say, well, you've got to score 3 against us just to get a point, so come on, just come at us. So yes, they might have a bit of possession, but what they're going to do with it, they just look, I wouldn't say lost as such, but they haven't got the identity, have they? They just don't seem to know. I don't say they don't know what they're doing, but it doesn't seem to be like where their attack or chance are going to come from.
No, and I pointed out a little bit earlier on into the game that Forest Green at the start, they just looked to be playing so many long balls straight over the top, looking for Christian Doidge, rather than trying to work it through like they have done. And we've seen it so many times this season where Forest Green have found their wing backs, and it's been a brilliant cross into the box, for example. But yeah, I think Forest Green do look a little bit lost. I completely agree, Billy.
Their second halves traditionally have been better. If they score an early goal in the second half, then maybe, but Boston probably continue to sit deep. But again, Savage must be so frustrated that the first half's been so atrocious at times, and they just think they've got to have their salvage their second half to get anything from the game. Again, we talk about it, they haven't had a clean sheet at home in the league since September. So it's almost a given they're going to concede at home. It's always uphill, and they just haven't got a chance with it. I can't remember the last time they went ahead at home, because the only victory this month has been against Woking, and they went behind in that one. So it's just, what do they do? They've got to shore things up defensively. Yes, they missed Ryan Innes. Yes, they missed Jordan Moore-Taylor. They probably will be a bit sure, more so if they were available at the back. But they conceded from a set piece again, from a corner. So they've not learned from Saturday either. So they're not doing enough research. What's going on? The teams know their vulnerability. It's a struggle to see how the Forest are going to turn this around.
Well, we'll see what they can do during that break, and what changes Robbie Savage will make. Thank you very much for now. Billy Hunt, Alfie Ryan, your commentary team here on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. It's match night through until 10 o'clock.
Steve Kitchen.
BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
I descend in silence, covering the world in ice and snow. I freeze your roads, darken your skies, and summon the storm. I am stillness. I am wild. I am unstoppable. I am winter.
There are 9 flood alerts downstream to Gloucester.
It was meant to be a 1 in 100 year flood.
Face the season prepared.
BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
Half-time in the Gloucestershire Senior Challenge Cup semi-final. Cheltenham Town Reserves 0, Bishops Cleeve 0. That game being switched to Kate Lane this evening, but no goals in the first half of that one. We'll run down through all the half-time scores from around the country and beyond after Taylor Swift.
I had a bad habit of missing lovers past. My brother used to call it eating out of the trash. It's never gonna last. I thought my house was haunted. I used to live with ghosts and all the perfect couples said when you know, and when you don't, you don't. And all of the foes and all of the friends have seen it before, they'll see it again. Life is a song, it ends when it ends. I was wrong, but my didn't understand it, why you felt alone. You were in it for real. She was in her phone and you were just a pose. And don't we try to love, love. We give it all we got. You finally left the table. And what a simple thought. You're starving till you're not. And all of the foes and all of the friends have messed up before, they'll mess up again. Life is a song, it ends when it ends. You move on. And that's when I told you it's alright. You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night. But now the sky is overlight. Oh, my Lord, never met no one like you before. You had to make your own sunshine, and now the sky is overlight. This is just a storm inside a teacup. But shelter here with me, my love. Thunder like a drum, this life will beat you up. This is just a temporary speed bump, but failure brings you freedom, and I can bring you love. Don't you sweat it, baby, it's alright. You were dancing through the lightning strikes. Oh, so sleepless in the onyx night. But now the sky is overlight. Oh, my Lord, never met no one like you before. No, you had to make your own sunshine, but now the sky is overlight.
Taylor Swift's Opalite on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Let's get up to date then with the half-time scores around the country and beyond. We'll start with your commentary match this evening, where Forest Green Rovers have had a 45 minutes to forget at the new lawn. And it started early on.
Played into the box. It's dealt with hard by Kirkhope, but the ball goes behind him and off for a goal kick. A few calls for a penalty from the referee. Eventually gives the penalty. It took a long time to think about it. The player goes down to the floor, diving header, taken down by someone from Forest Green, and a penalty's been given. Maguire looking to take against Eistedt to go 1-0 up. And he scores! Boston go in front after 11 minutes. 13 minutes gone. Boston lead by 0-0. They got their second corner, played short. Played in towards the far post, heads go up and it's in for Boston! They've got the second! Played in second time on a set piece. I think it might have been Grimes with the goal. Two Campbells being quickly harassed and gets dispossessed. And here comes Boston looking to make it 3. It's a foot race that Bunker loses out on. Here comes Boston 1-on-1. Goes past Eistedt and scores for Boston! It's their third. Curzon's on the break. Celebrates in front of the delirious Boston fans. Forest Green find themselves 3-0 down after 38 minutes.
And that's the way it is at half-time for Forest Green Rovers. Elsewhere in the National League this evening, leaders Rochdale are 1-0 up at Halifax. Second place York City are 2-0 up at Scunthorpe United. And Boreham Wood are 1-0 up at Southend United. All of those games involving sides in and around the playoff positions. Tamworth 1-0 up against Altrincham and Wealdstone 1-0 up against Brackley Town. In our local football this evening, Gloucestershire Senior Challenge Cup semi-final. No goals between Cheltenham Town's reserves and Bishop's Cleeve at Kate Lane. The winners will play Forest Green Rovers of Yate Town in the Senior Challenge Cup final. Their semi-final being played on the 10th of March. In the Champions League this evening, Newcastle United are 8-1 up on aggregate now against Qarabag. Just coming up to half-time there, 2-0 ahead in the second leg at St James's tonight. Tonali and Joe Linton with the goals there for the Toon Army. Earlier, Atletico Madrid beat Club Brugge 7-4 on aggregate, 4-1 on the night. Bayer Leverkusen 0, Olympiacos 0 is just coming up to a half-time score. Leverkusen leading 2-0 on aggregate, still there. And Inter Milan 0, Glimt 0. Milan 3-1 down after the first leg in that game. Other scorelines in the Championship: Blackburn 1, Bristol City 2, Hull 2, Derby 2, Middlesbrough 1, Leicester City 1, Swansea 0, Preston North End 1, Watford 0, Ipswich 1, West Brom 1, Charlton 0, Wrexham 2, Portsmouth 0, and Southampton 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. In League 1, it's Bradford 1, Rotherham 0, Burton 0, Stockport 0, Northampton 0, Port Vale 1. And at half-time in League 2, Accrington 0, Barnet 0, and Salford City 1, Shrewsbury Town 0, a 47th minute own goal giving Salford the lead, which for Cheltenham Town fans means that Cheltenham would move up to 18th above Shrewsbury on goal difference if it stays that way. Shrewsbury above Cheltenham on goal difference at the start of the day, and they would have played 2 games more than Cheltenham as well at the end of tonight, but we shall see what happens in the next 45 minutes of that one. Let's get you up to date then with some of the other sporting news today. And England's cricketers are the first team to go through to the T20 World Cup semi-finals.
Salman Mirza comes in around the wicket to Archer, moves across his stumps, pulls it out towards deep mid-wicket. It's running away towards the boundary. It will get there. Jofra Archer has struck the boundary that has taken England into the semi-finals of the Men's T20 World Cup. It has not been without some tension and some drama. England win the game by 2 wickets.
Yeah, Captain Harry Brook leading with a century as they chased down 165 to beat Pakistan by 2 wickets. Kevin Howells reports.
There appeared to have been some stubborn resistance to calls for England captain Harry Brook to bat higher up the order, but from 5 to 3 and coming in after Phil Salt was out very first ball of the run chase, it all fell into place. Sublime from Brook, a century, his first in T20 international cricket, 50 balls for the 100, including 10 fours and 4 sixes. England stumbled before Brook and afterwards, crossing the line by just 2 wickets and 5 balls remaining. And questions are still to be answered regarding England's overall performance, including fielding, when Brook himself dropped a catch. But for now, England have reached another T20 World Cup semi-final, the 5th in succession.
Well, let's hear from the man of the day, the England skipper who's now secured centuries in all 3 formats.
Yeah, very happy with the way we played there, and it's just nice to get through to the semis now. And we've got one more game against New Zealand, and we focus on that. But then the bigger prize at the other side.
You're in a class of your own today. Batted absolutely beautifully. That promotion to number 3, though, talk us through the mindset with that in the team.
That was Baz. It was all Baz. It was, he came to me this morning and just said, "Look, we might change you up and put you up at 3 today." And we've spoken about adapting and changing. All sorts throughout this competition, and just having the bravery to do that today was awesome.
Seemed to unlock a new level in your game personally as well. Is it something that you enjoy?
Well, getting better.
Number 3.
I haven't done it much, but no, it's nice to get out there and face as many balls as possible.
They gave you a little bit of a scare towards the end as well. What did you make of the Pakistan outfit today?
Yeah, they're good. They're always good. There's some of the world-class players in there. They have been for many years, and like I said, it's just nice to get over the line.
Such a wonderful all-round performance for everyone. Some great batting with you and Will Jacks at the back end as well. Confidence seems to be building in the English side, as you said, getting better and better and a more cohesive unit every time. Do you feel like you're in the right place now heading into the semis?
Yeah, there's obviously areas that we still want to improve on, and you can never quite get perfection, but we're always striving for it. So, like I said, we'll look towards the New Zealand game now, and our mind is completely on that.
A World Cup 100 as well. What a special moment. Any emotions going through your head, or you just focused on getting the job done?
I was just happy that we got the job done, to be honest. We were in a tricky situation at the start, and then a couple of partnerships there was nice, and like I said, just nice to get over the line.
England T20 captain Harry Brook, who scored a century today, now scored centuries in all 3 formats, and England through to the World Cup semi-finals. Time to take you back to the new lawn then, where Forest Green Rovers have a job on. They trail 3-0 at home to Boston at half-time. Changes maybe at half-time. Let's go and rejoin Alfie Ryan and Billy Hunt on BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
There's 3 of them. On comes Knowles, Morrison and Horton. The players coming off, we've seen the number of Doige. So no Doige in the second half. The 4th official is with his board now. Kirchhoff coming off. the second defender to come off for Forest Green today. And the third is the fourth official showing. I think we could probably work out who's not out there for Forest Green. Fourth official still fiddling with his board to show that Morrison is replacing.
Third and final substitution at half-time. Forest Green.
Ahmed,
yeah, it's the player to come off.
Replaced by number 17, Elijah.
So the players off were Ahmed, Kirkhoff and Deutsch. On comes Horton, Knowles and Morrison. Interesting, I was thinking Forest Green lining up. They need 3 goals. And they're taking off Christian Deutsch. Boston going from right to left. They made no changes. They complain. They played really well in the first half. Forest Green don't challenge that second ball. And Knowles managed to pick up the loose one though and goes forward. Ricardo Reese can't be found, but Horton picks up and goes forward. Finds Knowles, drives to the middle. Got Ricardo Reese there. He takes a heavy first touch and goes into the half of Reese Lovett.
Just going back to the shape, I think Forest Green have gone with a 4-2-3-1 here, with Ised in goal, Morrison at left back, Mendy, Bunker, Knowles as the defence, Campbell, Nwoko in the middle, McAllister on the right, Horton as a 10, Biabu at left wing, and Reese on his own up front.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it, that they need 3 goals and they've put Ricardo Reese up front by himself. It goes, yes, they've got the 3 number 10s behind him, McAllister, Horton, and is it Biabu on the left? So there's attacking options there. But I don't think Christian Deutsch was too bad in the first half. Forest Green going to score 3 of this formation. It's hard to find out because they are 3-0 down here at the new lawn. Morrison looking for Biabu, can't be found, and Boston needs to deal with it. Knowles on the right. Now, we talked about Knowles before the game. He can make a difference, can Knowles? Looks to find McAllister. Back to Bunker. To McAllister again. Knowles to McAllister. Deutsch wakes his way around the pitch after coming off. McAllister across to the halfway line. Cuts inside. Taps to Horton on the right. Goes into his left foot. Finds McAllister there to the D. Knowles making a run on the right hand side. Powerfully placed ball into the 6-yard box. Easily dealt with from the defence of Boston. And they come driving forward. Iwulu back into the midfield, and Boston can do this all the second half. Give Forest Green a bit of possession, but just stop any balls into the box.
Well, it's pretty much the same as Carlisle the other week, wasn't it, where the game had already pretty much gone and been buried at half-time, that they were able to set in like that.
Bunker, deep in his own half, clears upfield for a throw into Boston. Under a bit of pressure. You saw in the first minute of the second half, Horton came to Reese. Reese's touch was heavy. Whether he'll get more into the game in this second half, but look, he's up front by himself now, and Boston can just put 2 players on him, if not more.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm a little bit confused by, to be honest.
Boston into the area, but dealt with by Mendy. Takes the ball backwards to Roku. Did not want it there, and gets his shirt pulled, and should be we were talking to the Boston player. Referee lets it go. We'll go through the Boston lineup shortly. They made no changes. Lovett in goal. Teal, Sloggett, Maguire, Iwulu, Kersons, Richards, Rooney, Grimes, Gallagher and Carson. Biabu on the left by the corner flag. There's also not really any aerial options of Forest Green in the box. Something out Christian Deutsch. You look up and yes, you've got Reese, Horton, McAllister there. Not those known for their aerial prowess. Morrison by the corner flag himself goes into the penalty area. Can't find Reese, and it's easily cleared. I think you're going to see a lot of that for a Forest Green throw, where they're not going to be able to play aerial, are they? Because the defenders of Boston have got inches on the Forest Green strikers and attackers.
Well, even the midfielders going back into the box to defend crosses are really tall. I mean, like the likes of Greg Sloggett alongside Jamie Grimes as well.
Knowles looking to get a ball into there, but wins up a throw. Now he does have a long throw in his locker, which you might see. Drives the ball under his shirt. Wants Bunker in the area. Knowles. He doesn't know what to do, Knowles, doesn't he? He wants Mendy in the box. He says, what am I supposed to do? Throws the ball into the area. Bunker Heads the ball back to Knowles. He doesn't go straight off for a goal kick. And what's that about? You could just see Knowles, he just had his hand by his side. What am I doing? Bunker didn't make his way into there quickly. Mendy wasn't in there as an aerial option, so he just launched it long for a bit of a nothing throw.
Yeah, I feel a little bit sorry for Tom Knowles though. He wasn't given the options at all, and I mean the header was pretty poor from Bunker and nowhere near the goal, but yeah, I really can't work that one out either.
49 minutes gone. Forest Green Rovers 0, Boston 3. Forest Green chasing the game yet again. Boston still just look threatening. They've got the confidence. Well, you're going to be confident after 3-0, but they go into the game with a good run of form. McAllister's a long way offside. Flips the ball over the keeper, off the crossbar, over anyway. Again, if it was found onside, then it's all very good, but it's okay. Forest seem to be going just long at times as well. And again, identity, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, we saw it in the first half a lot. You know, it's really unlike Forest Green to be playing a lot of long balls looking for Christian Doidge. They ultimately did win, but really it didn't cause Boston any danger.
Boston went first to the ball. Forest Green get out jumped again, but Mendy does well to recover and find Knowles, who goes past one man, driving across the midfield. Plays it to Biarbi on the left. Got Morrison there as well if need be. Biarbi keeps the ball on well. Into the box, finds Woku, clips the ball over towards the far post, can't find McAllister, and headed off for a Forest Green Rovers corner. Safety first there on the defence of Boston. Forest Green with their third corner. The previous two haven't been the best. Bunker into the area, Mendy making his way there as well. Jaden Clark wants to come on. Kyle McAllister takes the corner. Savage didn't want to take that, I'll tell you why in a minute. It goes off the far side for a throw to Forest Green. He didn't want Kyle McAllister to take it because he wants to make a change. He wanted Jaden Clark to come on before the corner. Jaden Clark is ready to come on now. It's always strange to make a change at corner anyway. He's coming on for Tate Campbell. So that is all of Forest Green's 5 subs. Horton, Knowles, Clark, Bunker and Morrison all on. Doidge, Campbell, Kirkhoff, Kanu and Ahmed all been taken off. So the 11 on the field for Forest Green is the 11 that's going to finish this game. He's rolled the dice early. He's got to do something for Forest Green. They're 3-0 down. Third for Knowles goes into the area. First header won by Boston, second by Forest Green, but it's so congested in there they can't really get any sort of clean shots on goal. Mendy goes back to Horton, to Clark, his first touch after coming off the bench. There's literally 11 players of Boston between him and the goal. Biarbi's found on the right. He'll be running into traffic as well shortly. Gets the ball nipped off him, and there we go, and Boston managed to clear. And they play it forward to Kersons, who's already scored a long ball over the top. Knowles gives away a foul. Take it down Kersons, he was certainly looking for it, but Knowles took the bait. But with Kersons, he's still going to cause a threat, even when Forest Green just trying to push on forward and keep an eye on him, because we saw him score the Boston third when he was up front by himself.
Definitely, he's certainly been their danger man, and I do think that was the right decision from referee Harrison Blair as well. I know it looked a little bit soft, but definitely the right call.
Boston go long. Bunker wins the header, goes behind him though. But Morrison mops up. Forward to Biarbu. Still in his own half. Back to Mendy. McAllister making a run. Mendy didn't see him. Eventually they go long to find McAllister. Heads the ball backwards, trying to find Knowles, but again, wasn't decent to him. The clearance from Boston goes straight into Knowles, who would have felt that. Matty Carson with a pretty powerful clearance into Knowles. That would have stung. Boston with a throw up the line. Looking comfortable in their 3-0 lead. Knowles gives the ball away and can't find McAllister. They're just not clicking, are they, Forest Green? They're like a team that have played together too much.
No, I think the sub of Tom Knowles is actually a very, very good one. You know, he's full of energy and will probably try and spark Forest Green into attack as he comes down the right-hand side once again.
Horton's in the middle, he can find him, he can't. It was an audacious through ball and easy dealt with from the Boston defence. And Marulu finds Sloggett, drives on forward. Clark that's taken down, but he gives the ball away. Sloggett gives the ball out to Forest Green. It goes to Clark. To Morrison on the left-hand side, crosses the halfway line. Forest Green need a goal, just to have any sort of glimmer of a hope. They're 3-0 down after 54 minutes here on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Horton looking to find Morrison, didn't want it there, had to run backwards to keep the ball on. Mendy to Clark. Knowles wants it on the right. Knowles gets it on the right. Boston sitting deep. Can Knowles get past them? Goes past one to the edge of the area. Plays the ball powerfully into the middle, but Roku can't play it to McAllister. Boston's clearance is poor, and Morrison looks to reset. Finds Biarbi on the left-hand side. Is that over hit? It is, but Biarbi just can't keep it on. And again, Forest Green just not clicking.
Yeah, it feels very similar to the first half, really. But just passes out to Biarbi really can't be found, and a lot of throw-ins given away to Boston here.
Savage looking a bit frustrated with his team's performance. He thought after Saturday, when he was quite proud with the determination of what it was eventually 10 men of Forest Green on Saturday to get a point away from Boreham Wood. They haven't got it today. Horton wins himself a throw, he does. Throws it quickly down the line, looking for Ricardo Reese. It's poor though, and easily cleared from the Boston defence off a Forest Green throw. Nothing else Savage can do now apart from tinker with the formation. He's made 5 subs already. Bunker crosses the halfway line to McAllister. Knowles on the overlap he finds. It's a hopeful ball into the middle, but can't find Ricardo Reese, who was the only Forest Green player in the box then. And Mendy gives the ball away cheaply. And actually, it wasn't Mendy, was it? It's Biarbi gives the ball away cheaply. Mendy's tracking back deeply. With the offside flag goes off. No, a free kick's given against Tom Kersons, who scored the third for Boston. And we know what he can do when he gets the ball near the Forest Green area.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit unlucky there. Just a flailing arm gave away the foul, but once again a very, very dangerous run from the Boston striker.
Woku to Knowles. Knowles can't find Woku back. Wins up a throw though. In Forest Green, when they get forward, when you look up, you just see Ricardo Reese in the penalty box. When they're 3-0 down, surely there needs to be some other option there. It's easily going to be dealt with by the Boston defence. Free kick given away by Eliza Morrison. Is a pretty obvious yellow card there. He got dispossessed and hacked down the Boston player. First yellow card given by Forest Green. Reese Lovett, the Boston keeper, picked up a yellow card for time wasting in the first half.
But just going back to that point about Reese as well that you just made, Billy, I think he was quite quiet in the first half as well. I don't really think he had any chances of his own. So
you probably said Deutsch made more, didn't you? And yet Deutsch got pulled off at half time.
To then revert back to that one up front as well, I think, it just doesn't quite offer enough for me going forwards airily as much as anything else if Forest Green are going to play that longer ball as well this evening.
Yeah, they tried to do earlier, it hasn't worked. Boston with Gallagher on the right. And the handball there of Morrison. And he's just picked up a yellow card of Morrison. It was a deliberate, there was a handball and he put his hands up. I reckon he should maybe get a second yellow there, Morrison.
Yeah,
I said it quietly, the referee didn't hear.
I think he's very, very lucky, to be honest. Just where that hand position was, and it has prevented a bit of an attack, but yeah, I think he's lucky to not have seen a second yellow in as many minutes.
Free kick for Boston. Yeah, Morrison giving away that handball. He's lucky. Forest Green with the best at defending set pieces. Boston with his free kick on the right, midway in the Forest Green half. More in the final third. Carson plays it short. Forest Green didn't pick up Maguire at the edge of the area. Plays the ball in second phase. We know Forest Green aren't the best with, and Boston again win it. But hacked clear by Knowles. Mendy gets taken down, and sure that should be potentially a card, because the referee should have let play go on for phase, didn't they? Because Mendy got taken down, but yet somehow maintained possession.
Yeah, I think the only real reason to be giving a free kick there is if he was going to caution the Boston man, but
didn't. So, but Forest Green did have possession. Horton clips it to the left-hand side through to Jilibiabu. Going down the wing. Runs into traffic and tries to link up with Morrison, and it's a 1-2. But the two didn't continue for Biabu, and the ball's played out for a goal kick.
It feels very much the same old story, just that disconnect once again to Biabu. I mean, I take nothing away from him, but just the passes to him as well have been so poor this evening.
They look lost, Forest Green. They played okay in the 5-3-2 on Saturday. Started again today and didn't work. They're 3-0 down. And as the hour mark just ticks over, Boston yet to go from the subs bench. You can blame them. They're playing well. They're just dealing with Forest Green. You can't see them are going to get a goal, let alone 3. Any goals?
I'd be surprised.
Any goals in the second half elsewhere in the National League, Alfie?
Yeah, I think the only one has been Tamworth 2, Altrincham 1, but 4 run down is Rochdale 1, Halifax 0, York 2, Scunthorpe 0, Bournemouth 1, Southend 0, Wilson 1, Brackley 0.
Bunker easily mops up from the back. Finds Knowles on the right. Looking for Reese in the middle. That goes into the path of the Boston keeper Lovett, who clutches it in his hands, bowls it out quickly. It could be a long half an hour, really. The Forest Green then get a goal back and there'll be a bit of hope, but well, the crowd are glum around us. Forest Green also going towards the north stand in the second half, so they're not going towards their favoured south stand. McAllister wins himself a free quick, Maguire taking him down. He goes back to Clark. Forest Green make their long trip to Gateshead on Saturday. Really a hearty supporter to go there after the performance tonight. We'll be there though. Commentary on BBC Radio Gloucestershire for those not making the long trip up to Gateshead. Clark in the middle. Stays on the ball too long, gives Boston enough time to come back, and Boston easily clear.
There were shouts from Savage there, I think, for Clark to play a long ball out to Knowles here on the right, but just took a little bit too long. Tried to find Horton, and once again it's good defending from Boston.
Just nullifying anything Forest Green have got. I just can't see Forest Green do anything at the moment. Savage looking good on the edge of the technical area. Just needs galvanising, don't they, the team. Huge kick from Lovett over the top. Mendy heads forward. Biabu is offside. I'm sorry, you can hear the language of the fans behind us questioning why he's offside from that. No need to be, from the ball over the top. 62 minutes gone, Forest Green 0, Boston 3. There's also talk from some of the Forest Green fans at half-time as Boston go long from the free kick. Bunker gets out-headed, and here comes Boston to go forward, and Mendy and Knowles link up well to take the balls off Maguire, who's almost got a touch through it on goal. Boston go back through Grimes. That's danger again, yeah, Alfie, wasn't it? Just Forest looking vulnerable defensively still.
Yeah, it was very good defending, but like you say, Boston have been excellent on the break, and here they come once again.
Ball over top is clutched by Eisted. It's easy when players aren't playing, they turn amazing despite not going on the pitch. But you look at the likes of Long, Circum. Is that what Forest? He's not going to do it with only a few games to go this season. As Ricardo Reese can't get the end of that Clark ball. It's ridiculously over hit off for a goal kick. Would they have the experience and the power to really potentially do a bit more than the way the Forest are playing at the moment?
Well, that's the thing. They've all been out of the plan since the start of the season. So really, if they want to keep that up, then there's no way back in for this team. And we already know that there's been offers for those players as well to potentially go out on loan, or whether that be permanent. But yeah, I don't really know where Forest Green go from here, particularly this evening as well.
They're just not looking good, Forest Green. Boston 3-0 up, cover on the ball. Forest Green yet to really have a clear-cut chance, you have to say. Grimes, the defender, plays back to his keeper, who takes a touch confidently and clears upfield, dragging both Horton and Reese in. Iwulu plays the ball to the left-hand side, ball into the area, it's a decent one. It goes off for a goal kick, and again, Boston look miles better than Forest Green, and if they continue this form, we keep saying they might get into the playoffs, and if Forest Green continue this form, they might drop out of it.
And that's been the biggest difference since the Carlisle game as well. If you try and compare the two, I think Carlisle had sat in quite a lot in that second half, but Boston really want more.
Yeah, and they look right to score, but can Forest Green try to do something now as the ball's played into the area? Goes off a few deflections for Forest Green throw by the corner flag on the right. Knowles wants to take it long. He's going to take it long, but why are Bunker and just not bombing up there? So again, surely the identity should be, we're taking a long throw and going to the box. Mendy's trotting into there now. Not blaming them, but is that, do they not know what to do? Do they not know the plan?
It just seems an urgency thing.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to chase the game and the players aren't even ready for the throw-in to be taken.
Here comes that long throw. Mendy does win the first header, and Reese wins the second, but goes into the hands of Lovett. But yeah, they've got, we got long throw, well, maybe we'll go into the box. You're right, just the urgency then to, right, long throw, boom, let's go.
I mean, only with 25 minutes left as well, it's not like the game's unassailable. I know Forest Green haven't been good this evening, but 3 goals in any game of football can be achieved in a relatively short space of time. So yeah, it's really surprising that Forest Green I'm not sure, like you say, they look lost.
Clark to Marston on the left, to Mendy, to Clark again. He's forced to go back to the defence. Mendy finds Knowles on the right hand side. It's the wave of white and red defenders in front of him. Woku to Biaga on the left. Ball into the area, dealt with from the Boston defence. And Forest don't even challenge the second ball. Clark finds Bunker on the halfway line. Mendy to the left. Still a lot of football to play, yeah. So there is time for us to turn it around, but don't look like doing so. It's goal kick given as Biaga gets the ball taken off and takes the last touch off for a goal kick. And it's quiet around here. And Forest, we need to do something. I don't know what though. They've made the 5 changes. I don't know what more they can do.
Well, as you say, it's all well and good changing the formation again, but then do they run back into the same issues? Changing from that 3-5-2 that they had in the first half to the 4-2-3-1 that they've now got in this half, there hasn't really been a lot of difference.
Hear from Robbie Savage tomorrow morning on the BBC Radio Gloucestershire breakfast show. I doubt he'll be able to get us some time tonight. He's probably going to give a long team talk to his players after the game today. But we'll get you his thoughts tomorrow morning. Ricardo Reese chasing a loose ball, but it's easily dealt with in the defence of Boston and Rooney, who clears upfield. Mendy wins the second ball and plays the ball back to Bunker. Finds Knowles in a bit of space. He's been quiet the last 5 minutes, but got some space now. McAllister in the middle wanting it, but Knowles runs into traffic, falls back to Clark, to Bunker, to Woku. Decent ball to Knowles on the right hand side, but Knowles is offside, and you hear the groans from the fans around us.
I think that must have been quite close as well, because just where the defender was running alongside, I think that's only got to be a couple of inches in that, really.
It was close, but I think he might have been just offside. And this goes back to what we talked about before the game. They've made the 5 subs, but they needed a striker. They needed Babalola to come on, didn't they? Just a big man, see what they can do with it, or Mitchell, but there was no out-and-out strikers to come on.
Well, even going back to the conversation about Asude as well, I mean, a 4-game ban at this stage of the season is absolutely massive, and I think a bit of pace and energy would have been really good for this Forest Green team this evening.
McCarran's waiting to come on. He's going to be replacing Iwulu in the next stop of play. McAllister looks for Reese. He's got 3 players on him, and surprisingly they win the ball back. Bunker in his own half. Plays forward to Clark, to Knowles. Finds Horton and gets the ball taken off him again. Just runs into traffic. There's just far more players in the Boston colours than Forest Green. Horton intercepts, gets the ball back. Needs some options though. Finds Knowles on the right hand side. Drifts past one challenge, but the ball's well taken off his second time. And Maguire goes on forward. Maguire wins the ball back though. I think the fans wanted a free kick because when Knowles went past the first challenge, there was a bit of a trailing leg. McAllister goes back to Bunker. Just need something for us, don't they? I don't know where they're going to get a goal from.
No, I feel like we've been saying the same thing quite a lot at the moment. It's just, they're really struggling going forward. I mean, they're getting the opportunity through the midfield, but it's just finding that final touch in the box that, they just haven't been able to get at all this evening.
They were poor in the first half against Carlisle, and they were better in the second. Still lost 3-1. But today, they've been poor in the first half and poor in the second.
Absolutely, and I think, that Carlisle second half, I think they must have had a good 15 or 20 chances in that half alone, because they knew that Carlisle already knew that the game was gone. So, but I'm really not sure where they get anything from here, Forest Green.
Reese on the left-hand side. Might have won himself a corner. Yes, he has. Forest Green's fourth. Let's see if they can do better than the previous three. McLaren still hasn't come on yet. They'll wait for this corner to be taken.
It'll also be a first look for Boston fans at Liam McCarron, who signed today, actually, funny enough.
He's seen his new team do all right today. A free agent, wasn't he, before today? Yeah. Corner Forest Green. Played in towards the far post. Bunker with the header, cleared off the line. The second one sees it back. Bunker gets that goal back. Wins the first header. Bickersley's to him. Powerfully stops home for the first goal for Forest Green. It's Forest Green 1, Boston 3.
Yeah, much better from Forest Green. A really good set piece actually, and a well-hit effort from Bunker to just maybe try and give Forest Green some hope in this game. And I've literally just said that I couldn't see where Forest Green were going to get a goal from, and they got the other end of the score.
A corner, of course it was going to be. A rare set piece goal for Forest Green. So, Forest Green 1, Boston 3. 20-ish minutes to go, 71 minutes gone. And here comes that change. Ururu eventually comes off. Well, if Forest can get a goal back in the next 10 minutes, then it's game on. But good determination there from Bunker. You've got to say, wins the first header, and it ricocheted well to him, and he did well to powerfully hit it home on the second chance.
Yeah, it was a very, very good goal, to be honest. And as we said, it's from a corner which we haven't. Well, we've seen Forest Green score a few of them, but in comparison to how many they have, I mean, it hasn't really been enough for Forest Green.
No, they've had a loads of corners this season. What that might mean, though, I think, is Boston might get a little bit deeper, because they've, as we said previously, they've looked like they could have got a fourth. They try and shut up shop. Forest Green have made 5 changes. Did that in the 53rd minute. Get themselves a third in their own half. Bunker in his own half. 2 Knowles on the right. Forest has got a second. There will be the belief. Knowles forced to go back to Bunker. Looking to find Horton in the middle, gets intercepted, but McAllister wins the ball back. Horton goes off one challenge, goes himself at the edge of the area. Can't find Reese, and it's cleared by Boston. Deep into the night sky, and Mendy's header should go back to ice. It's not the best one though, and he gets beaten. But the touch is heavy from Curzons. It goes off for a goal kick, and that looks scary.
Yeah, that was certainly a get out of jail free card there for Forest Green, as Curzons once again danger man. But it's just a really unlucky touch, but he rounded Harry Isad really well.
He did. I think Isad just thought this is going to the back of the net, but the touch was heavy from him, and he went off for a goal kick. But well, that he should have easily, really, considering how easy he scored his third. Should have been the fourth for Boston. Iwoku to Horton. Boston has got a bit of belief to them, but Iwoku gives the ball away. And McCarron drives on forward. Clark, he sets the ball off him. And Forest Green just have something to them. Cheltenham 1-0 up in the Gloucestershire Senior Cup against Bishop's Cleeve. Morrison goes to the floor, expecting a free kick, not given. But Boston get the ball away. Suddenly they wouldn't say they rattle, but they want a little bit of pressure. Still winning by 1-3. Morrison gives away a free kick. He's got to be careful. The referee's going to have a chat to him. I think this might be saying it's your last chance there, because He's on a yellow card for a free kick earlier, an obvious one stopping and break. He could have got a second yellow card for a handball. He's given away a bit of a silly free kick as well then.
Yeah, it's a serious tightrope for Elijah Morrison on that left-hand side. I mean, I'm a bit baffled as to how he's not been sent off. He's given 2 chances, which you don't really see at any level, to be honest, if you're already on the caution.
There's a player sitting on, well, there's 2 players down for Boston. One the referee's talking to, there's a second on the halfway line. I think just might be seeing a bit more managing the game here from Boston. 74 minutes gone. It's Forest Green 1, Boston 3. The treatment's needed for the Boston player. There might be movement on the bench. Kieran Donnelly to come on. Connor Teal just having a bit of fluids. Yeah, Forest Green needs to score a goal in the next 10 minutes, I'd say. If they can go into towards injury time to the goal behind, you never know. That'd be only salvage a point though.
And we do know it's not a tactical conversation really either as such, but Forest Green do look to have had a spring in their step since the goal as well. But just a few Boston players coming over for a quick chat now actually while I say that.
Yeah, I think it might be deliberate. It might not be, it might be CFC injury and he might be subbed off, but Boston is certainly just having a bit of a talking, trying to take away a bit of the momentum from Forest Green. After they got a goal back, it's still Forest Green 1, Boston 3, but the clock is ticking away now. The referee will add time on for this. Seeing who the player down is. Off comes Tom Kersons. He's been replaced by Kieran Donnelly. Kersons getting the 3rd for Boston. Applause the Boston fans, who again have tried their numbers. Fair play to them. They're seeing their team continuing their great run of form. It's taken a few minutes as this injury is sub.
I do think Forest Green will be glad to see the back of Kersons as well, because he's been really impressive, I think, with Boston this evening once again.
He's walking off slowly. Eventually Donnelly comes on. And the play can hopefully restart. Also, Rooney was getting treatment, so they're temporarily down to 10, aren't they, Boston?
Yeah, I think maybe just a bit of a clash with his mouth, actually, I think.
Yeah. So Lovett takes his time to take the free kick. And play does restart. Reese gives away a throw on just inside his own half. So Boston in no rush to take this, as we know they are down to 10 temporarily. Rooney continuing to get treatment. Still haven't taken the throw in. But what that stoppage has done, it just has nullified the pressure a bit from Forest Green. Biabi down the left, gives the ball away just poorly. And Boston get the ball, go towards the corner flag, being forced to do so by Woku, and give the ball away to Clark. Still deep in his own half. Tapped the ball to Horton, who sees Knowles in space on the right-hand side. McAllister's making a run, he finds him on the right, does well to stay on side. The Boston defence has got there, but it's gone to Horton. Edge of the box, taps to Clark, has a shot, well blocked from the Boston defence. Off for a Forest Green throw, unless Woku can keep the ball on, he can. We've seen Clark score from there. Left-hand side of the penalty area.
Yeah, I think maybe just the effort was a little bit too early with a lot of Boston men behind the ball.
Woku to Horton. Forced back to Bunker. Knowles wants it on the right and gets it. McAllister makes a run into the box. Can't be found though. Knowles gets the ball back. Goes on right-footed. Might have won himself a corner. Now gets the ball back in open play. To Horton with the first time shot, which is blocked. Back to Woku, gives the ball away, and Boston come away with it, and fouls as well. Tried to tap it to Horton, didn't he, instead of having a shot then Woku. Gave away the foul and gets the yellow card. He fizzled up to nothing for Forest Green.
Yeah, I think absolutely right decision there to give Woku the yellow card there, as Boston were looking dangerous once again on the break, and were very few Forest Green players back there.
Time's ticking away, 79 minutes gone. Forest Green 1, Boston 3. Boston definitely managing this game now, taking their time with every set piece. Jake Rooney is back on the pitch now to take the free kick. 15 yards so inside his own half. Plays the ball deep into the Forest Green half. Bunker gets out jumped. McAllister has to go deep to try and get a touch onto it and win the ball back for Forest Green. Knowles forward. Can't find Ricardo Reese. And Clark again brings the ball down deep in his own half. Forced to go deeper. Needs an out option. Finds Bunker. Attacks to Knowles. Can't find Roker. It's easily intercepted. And Clark wins the ball back. Still Froston can't get out of their own final third, let alone their own half. Boston again get the ball in the Forest Green half. Through Carson. Spread to the right hand side to Teal. Back to Rooney. Boston in control of this game. So the 80th minute mark ticks over. They played the ball back to Lovett. Draws in Ricardo Reese, who's again been quite quiet in the second half. It's been a change of formation when he's just up front by himself. Christian Doyle's coming off at half time and not had too many chances. The goal back for Forest Green's come from a corner, which Bunker scored from it. But even another two is trying to get a point. They've only got 9.5 minutes and 90 to do so. They're not knocking on the door either. They had that pressure, but Boston have done well to nullify it. Morrison to Giudiviabra on the left. Back to Roku. To Clark. Got nowhere to go. Back to Bunker. Boston just sitting deep and comfortable behind the ball. Men to the left to Morrison. Runs into traffic and gives the ball away. Boston come on forward and actually dribble the ball out for a Forest Green throw. Savage talked about exciting football in his brand of football. We're not really seeing too much of it tonight.
No, we're not. And I think the thing is, trying to obviously get the result, it was very similar to Saturday. I wouldn't say the football was as exciting as it has been, but just trying to go to Boreham Wood and get a result. But I feel like, tonight, you probably look at the game and think they have the chance of winning, but those 3 early Boston goals, I think, have absolutely killed this game. But you never know. Forest Green still with 10 minutes left. You never know what could happen.
Mendy puts the ball into the box, which is blocked off for a Forest Green throw. They'll take it quickly. Back to Morrison. This is the Boston fans you can hear in full voice. Their team currently winning by 3 goals to 1. 3 goals in the first 40 minutes of the game. Clark. Back to McAllister. Forced back to Bunker. They're going nowhere Forest Green at the moment. Come and break us down is what Boston are saying. Mendy. Shows too much of the ball, but McAllister manages to mop up. To Knowles. Forward to Clark. By the corner flag on the right hand side. 2 players on him. Where can he go? Nowhere. into the defence of Boston, and they clear up the line. Forest Green with themselves a throw in their own half. They're just going nowhere. Forest Green. Credit to the Boston defence because they're staying strong. They're keeping their shape. Not giving Forest Green a sniff.
No, definitely not. And it's been very much 2 sides to this Boston side. They've been very, very good attacking in the first half and even better defensively in the second.
Giudiviabra gives away a free kick. No, he doesn't. As despite the calls of Paul Hurst, and there's a player down for Boston. He's holding his head. It's off the ball. The referee's going to talk to Biabra. I'm not sure something happened off the ball then, because he originally gave nothing, but now he's giving something.
Yeah, I think it must have been off the ball there because, like you say, the initial foul, in Paul Hurst's opinion, if it was a foul, wasn't given. So, he spent a lot of time shouting at the 4th official, but actually something had happened that we didn't see.
But it gives Boston more time to eke away the clock. 83 minutes gone. Forest Green 1, Boston 3. Forest Green need a goal in the next couple of minutes, really, or to try and get something from this game. Doesn't look likely, though. Forest Green, as we said, travel to Gateshead on Saturday for one of their longest trips of the season, if not the longest. Gateshead, and they found themselves a bit of form as well. Free kick for Boston just inside their own half. Played long. Knowles wins it, finds McAllister. There's another player down for Boston holding his head. That being Matty Carson, who, of course, being a head injury, you've got to stop play immediately, and you can hear the boos around from the Forest Green fans. I don't think that's 100% genuine.
No, especially with the time on the clock, and the game is still in the balance somehow. I mean, considering Forest Green's performance this evening, I can't believe that they've still actually got half a chance. But yeah, just take this thing out of the game once again, Boston.
Yeah, it's frustrating for the Forest Green fans, but I'm sure they'll be doing the same, managing the game if they were leading by 3-1 away from home. And he's getting a bit of treatment with Matty Carson. The referee's going to have had time on for this, but we're approaching the 90 in the last 5 minutes of the 90. Still down. Is Carson or is that kind of okay? Eventually gets up and goes off. Gets the boos from the Forest Green fans, accusing him of, what's he going to hear, cheating. A few goals in the Champions League, Alfie, in the Newcastle game.
Yeah, it's Newcastle 3, Karabag 2, which is 9-3 on aggregate now.
Newcastle going to go through there in the Gloucestershire Senior Club. Bishops Cleeve have drawn level against Cheltenham Town Reserves. Horton in the Boston half, plays on forward, wants to find Knowles on the right, goes to McAllister in the middle. Horton continues to run in the area, but again, just so many white and red shirts in there as the ball's cleared for Boston. To Maguire, holds the ball up well, still has the ball at his feet, looking confident with it, and goes back to his keeper of Lovett, and goes long. Bunker wins the first header, no one's there for asking for the second. It's easily dealt with by Boston. McCarron wins himself a throw in front of Savage, who we will talk to after the game. Probably won't be able to get you reaction before 10 o'clock, but do listen to the BBC Radio Gloucestershire Breakfast Show tomorrow morning. Very interesting chat from him. Knowles wins himself a free kick in his own half. Let's take it quickly. Time ticks away. 3 minutes of normal time to go. Some of the fans are leaving. It's Forest Green 1, Boston 3. Forest Green's poor run of form continues. Mendy in his own half. Looks for option. Goes back to Clark. To Knowles on the right-hand side. So Firminian name coming off the bench shortly for Boston. Mendy goes to the left, Marcel Lavenier, and coming on alongside Lancashire, of course, ex-Forest Green player Lavenier. Bunker with the ball at his feet, but he's got 11 Boston players in front of him, and Clark goes back to Bunker. What Forest Green doing? I don't think they know, do they? It's just with Bunker now. Goes long over the top. Reece can't be found, so he's got 2 men on him. McAllister picks up the loose ball, it gets the ball taken off him, and Boston clear quickly. Goes back to Eisted in his own area, who clutches it. 2 minutes of normal time to go. Forest Green are pushing a few more men up now, but they're not putting Boston under much pressure, really.
No, not at all. I think it's credit to Boston as well. A little bit of a low block going on at the moment, where, you know, just trying to see the game out, and they've got absolutely every right to. But Forest Green are really struggling to break them down.
Clark down the right, poorly. Can't find Horton, and the Boston defence clears it. Clark gives away a free kick, and look, he's injured. Is Maguire? Might need some treatment. This is going to be subbed off. Frank Maguire is going off. Here comes Marcel Lavenier. The second sub sees Lancashire coming on. Savage shouting at his players. I think that could be job done from Boston. We're in the last minute of normal time. Maguire's not making the quickest way off. The second change sees Carson coming off, being replaced by Lancashire. I'd imagine there might be about 6-7 minutes of time added on potentially, but Forest Green only scored 1 in 89. Not sure who's going to score 2 to try and get a point.
Yeah, definitely ebbed away from him a little bit in this last sort of 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe with 15 to go, there's maybe still half a chance, but I think realistically now I can't see any way back.
No. And it's not been a good second half either. We talked about it before. They've created a lot of chances against Carlisle in the second half when they were 3-0 down at half time. They've not done the same today. Boston go forward. Bunker wins the first header. Finds Woku back to Mendy. Plays the ball hopefully forward, but can't find Ricardo Rees. Woku gets the ball back for Forest Green. Gets challenged. Struggles with a few challenges and comes away, wins advantage. Finds Morrison. To Biabi on the left-hand side. Ball into the box. Ricardo Rees can't be found, and Boston clear. Not the most convincing clearance. 6 minutes of time added on has been given. Knowles gets the ball in the area, plays it further into the box. Easy dealt with the Boston defence. We're in the 6 minutes now. Mendy to Clark, 45 yards out. Finds the Horton on the right. Who's in the area for Forest Green? No one. Ricardo Rees at the edge of it. Knowles at the edge of the area, goes into the box, takes a shot, and it goes in! It goes in! Knowles gives Forest Green hope. Places a shot in the area, and in 6 minutes of added on time, Forest Green have made it 2-3, and it could be game on.
Well, once again, I said, is there any way for Forest Green realistically to come back from this? Probably not, but Tom Knowles has given them an absolute chance there, and it was a brilliant finish. A bit of poor goalkeeping from Reece Lovett. I think he probably would have liked to have done a little bit better with that, but really, it's game on with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a minute, they added 6, and Forest Green have got a second goal back. Can they get a third to somehow salvage a point? Boston go long from the kick-off. Now it will be kitchen sink time, you'd imagine. The police going to be there for Forest Green. You can suddenly hear the crowd. Knowles, forwards. The most we've heard from the Forest Green fans all game. Knowles goes long. Mendy finds Biabi on the left-hand side. Brings the ball down well. Finds Mendy in the area. Gets in a bit of a tangle. Horton can't win the ball down. Forest Green just didn't have too much control there. But suddenly there's a bit of belief to them. Boston sitting deep. Forest Green can put everyone forward. McAllister on the right-hand side. Onto his left foot. Search a ball into the area. Can't find Wendy or Reese on the far post. That was a decent ball though.
Yeah, very, very good ball. And Forest Green are really, really going forward at the minute, and here comes another chance.
McAllister with the ball into the area. Can't find Mendy. Where's this for Forest Green in the previous 90 minutes? Clark. To the left, it's just frustrating. They've got this in them now. Why not do it before?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier about being a second half team at the moment.
Biabu's there to the air, finds McAllister in the box. It's congested though to Horton with a long range effort. Gets a ricochet, goes to Forest Green corner. Oyster goes long. Oyster goes up for it. Forest Green take it quickly. Horton to take. Could this be a leveller? Horton with it. 3 minutes of injury time to go, but Forest Green have put the keeper up. Played in towards the far post. He takes a dive, does Oyster. The ball's half cleared from the defence of Boston, who clear into the Forest Green half. There's no one back there, so Knowles mops up. Not often you see a penalty shout on the keeper.
Yeah, I was going to say, I couldn't really tell whether we'd gone down a little bit too easily there, but he's actually stayed a little bit higher up as well since the corner.
Bunker to McAllister. 3 minutes of inch time to go. Another ball into the box. Fallen to Clark on the left-hand side. Suddenly there are a load of players in the Boston area. Clark puts the ball into the area. Finds Morrison, brings the ball down well. Looks for options. And gets the ball taken off him in Boston. Quickly clear. Bunker might find himself a throw. He's done just that. Biabi takes it quickly. Suddenly we've got game on. McAllister on the halfway line. Boston sitting deep, puts another ball forward. Goes over everyone, can it be kept on? It can by Biabi on the left. Boston have all men in the box. Biabi puts the ball in the area. Can't find Ricardo Reese. Fallen to the Boston defence who take a while to clear. 2 minutes of normal time to go. Where's his urgency been there, Alfie? It's frustrating that they're doing this now.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly as I said in the first half. Just Forest Green has been so much better in second half, but it's almost a little too late sometimes.
McAllister, ball in the air, takes a shot across goal. Can't find Reese, now's the chance. That was the chance. It was powerfully hit, but Reese was unmarked 6 yards out and couldn't slot home. Still forcing our possession. Looking to save a point. Clark looks for options, needs to do something quickly to Horton. Back to Clark. Might have a shot, in the edge of the area. Play to the left instead. Clips into the area. Horton with the header and goes wide for a goal kick. That looked goal bound from here.
Yeah, there was certainly a few around me who thought that was in, and I did as well. It was actually a really good header from Nick Horton, just glazing wide of the post, but how unlucky were Forest Green there.
But going back to that chance for Ricardo Reese, that could have been it. McAllister found the ball to him, and he was unmarked in the penalty area, and that's what you pay him to do. Yeah,
I was going to say that is such a Ricardo Reese kind of position to get into as well, and a brilliant ball in from McAllister, but just unlucky not to be able to get any touch on it.
Lovett's taking time with this. He's got a yellow card already. Referee's told him to hurry up. We're on the last minute now. Is that it for Forest Green? Bunker puts the ball forward. Reese getting a shirt pulled. Referee doesn't give anything though, and forcing get dispossessed. And here comes Boston. Could they make it? McCarran going in front. Bishop's Cleeve leading by 2 goals to 1 here in the Gloucestershire Senior Cup. Knowles looks will be Arbor down the left-hand side. I think it's over hit. It is. Goes off for a goal kick, and that could be it. As it's going to be a goal kick to Boston. Goals elsewhere in the National League, Alfie?
Yeah, Halifax have equalised against Rochdale in the 92nd minute, on top of their 87th minute goal as well. So another late comeback there.
You don't really want that, do you? I think in terms of the playoff, you'd rather Rochdale get all 3 points there, and Halifax don't pick up anything, because that does, unfortunately, for Forest Green, just mean the more points against the team nearby them. We've had those added 6. Bunker with a header forward. I think that is gone now for Forest Green. Throwing to them on the halfway line. Might there be one last chance? Savage demanding his players forward. Halifax just 7 points behind Forest Green now, chasing that particular positions. Forest Green need to do something quickly. They go long. Dealt with from the Boston defence. Not the most convincing of clearances though. Header goes wide. Surely that's going to be it from the referee. Morrison goes back. There goes the full-time whistle. Boston come away with 3 points. A bit of fight for Forest Green at the end. But you've got to say that did really put a bit of a shine on the poor performance of Forest Green in the previous 90 minutes. Boston went 3-0 ahead at half-time. Bunker got 1 back after 71 minutes from the corner. Knowles gave Forest Green a bit of hope in the 91st minute, and after that Forest Green showed chances. But the most frustrating thing for Forest Green, Alfie, is where was that in the previous 90?
Yeah, once again it's just a little too late from Forest Green, and it sort of feels like the story of bits of their season, especially here at the new lawn. I mean, we saw it the other week with the Carlisle game where they were 3-0 down at half time. The early goal sparks them back into life again, but just can't find the back of the net. But I mean, credit to Forest Green for keep going, but Boston would have already felt that the game was done by half time, and you can't take anything away from Boston, because I thought they were absolutely excellent.
Yeah, look, fair play to Boston, fair play to the fans for making the trip. They've on a great run of form and it continues. Forest Green are not on a good run of form, and we'll think about how they could have potentially got 8 points, but they was poor for majority of the game. I think in terms of a 90-minute performance, that could be one of the worst really all season, because they just didn't have that fight in the second half, which has kind of bailed them out recently.
Yeah, and you feel that the 3 goals by half time had already sort of killed the game, and once again it's Forest Green scoring 2 goals in the second half, and Savage will be unhappy that he wanted it before the game. He said he wants a 90-minute performance rather than a 45, but really he'd only have to say it was the last sort of 20-25 minutes that Forest Green actually properly turned up in the game.
If that, I guess I think Knowles got that goal back, in which that kick-started things, and that was it really. So questions to ask Robbie Savage here from his reaction tomorrow morning on the BBC Radio Gloucestershire Breakfast Show. Join us on Saturday when Forest make the long trip to Gateshead, where Gateshead, as we know, are struggling towards the bottom of the table, but Forest Green are struggling form-wise themselves. Another poor performance from Forest Green, a very good one from Boston. Full-time here at the new lawn. It's Forest Green Rovers 2, Boston 3.
Who'd you start with then on Saturday? Which way do you go? If you're Robbie Savage, what are you going to do?
I don't think I don't know. I'm not sure if he knows, and I don't want to be too disrespectful. I'm sure he's got an idea, but he stuck with the same formation today for a bit, and that didn't really work, and he made changes there. They're just lacking direction, Forest Green. I just don't think they know. I want to say what they're doing sounds a bit too disrespectful, but they don't seem like a team who are gelling well. You just see Boston there in that great run of form. They're playing some really good football, but I don't know yourself. What did Forest Green do? What did he do on Saturday to make a change?
Well, that's the thing. It's all well and good saying, we'll go with the same team that's finished today against Boston, who can start on Saturday. But do they then fall back into the same trap that they've fallen into previously, where teams find them out a little bit too easily at the moment? And that is really the biggest question for Robbie Savage going into the weekend.
The fight, isn't it? We just talked about the urgency. The urgency was there when the Forest Green had the chance to equalise. They needed that urgency from minute one, but Sean in the second half making the changes, they just didn't seem to have the fight and the passion that Savage talks about, and he just doesn't seem to galvanise the players. And we just heard Tom Knowles got given the sponsors man of the match. He came on at half time, so they're really scrambling to find out who could be the man of the match today. So they've got huge changes to make, and they're in this horrible run of form, and you just suddenly look down on the table. As we said, I know you'll go through the table fully later, Steve, Forest Green are 7 points away from Halifax, who just look like they're picking up a draw at Rochdale.
Yeah, that's full time now. That's full time.
Yes, so Forest Green continue their run of form now, and Halifax can continue their run of form. And you've also, then you never know where Forest Green happen with it. We've got another 11 games for Forest Green to play. Well, they're not picking up. They're picking up less than a point a game at the moment. Yes, their running's a lot easier. They're going to be playing Gateshead bottom of the table. The last few games they've got Truro and Gateshead and Morecambe, but they could be fighting for their lives. They could be putting everything on the table to try and get something, and they're not necessarily anything's a given. It's hard to see how Forest Green do here, because they are in real danger of dropping out of the playoffs. I know Savage talks about the long-term project, and they've got all these new players coming in, but you don't write off this season. You don't write off the fact that they might just scrape into the playoffs and not do anything with it. Surely you look at this season now and what they can do, but it just seems like they just don't know what they're doing, and we're approaching March and they're really struggling.
And I think given the start of the season as well, I think it'd be an absolute disaster if Forest Green don't get in the playoffs. They started really well, and people were already saying that they could be challenging for the title, but we're sat here saying they might even fall out of the playoffs at the moment. So yeah, it really is a torrid run of form for Forest Green at the moment.
Fellas, thank you very much indeed. We'll be interested to hear what Robbie Savage has to say. As Billy said, we'll try and bring it before 10 o'clock, but unlikely. I'm sure he's had lots of things to say to his players at the moment, and then of course we'll come out and have a chat with the media once he's done all that. Listening to The Breakfast Show tomorrow morning with John Smith. John will be back with you then from 6 o'clock.
John Smith at breakfast. The BBC Radio Gloucestershire Make a Difference Awards are back.
I was so emotional about it, I just broke down crying because I was just so pleased.
I've been meeting previous winners like Brian and Julie.
When they announced it, I think my sister was next to me, and we're not quiet people, John, so we were there was a few whoa!
For a full list of categories and details of how to nominate someone, go to bbc.co.uk/make a difference, where you can also see full terms on our privacy notice. Nominations are open now and close on the 31st of March at 5 p.m. John Smith at breakfast. Weekdays from 6. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
Young at heart. Young at heart. Young at heart, yet what a start. Oh, before their time.
Bluebells, Young at Heart on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Forest Green Rovers fans, you can text the word Gloss and your message to 81333 on WhatsApp. It's 08000 321 333 with your thoughts. It's now 4 defeats and a draw in the last 5 games for Forest Green Rovers. Okay, quite a few of those games have been played against the sides up and around them, but they're still not finding the results tonight. A 3-2 home defeat to Boston United.
The box. It's dealt with half by Kirkhoff, but the ball goes behind him and off for a goal kick. A few calls for a penalty from the referee. Eventually gives the penalty. It took a long time to think about it, but the player goes down to the floor, diving header, taken down by someone from Forest Green, and a penalty's been given. Maguire looking to take against Eistead to go 1-0 up. And he scores! Boston go in front after 11 minutes. Through Frankie Maguire. 28 minutes gone. Boston lead by 0-0. They got their second corner, played short. Played in towards the far post, heads go up and it's in for Boston! They've got the second! Played in second time on a set piece. I think it might have been Grimes with the goal. Powerful header. Boston didn't pick him up. Well, 28 to Ahmed. 2 Campbells being quickly Forest harassed. Played it towards the far post. Bunker with the header. Boston make it 3. It's a foot race and Bunker loses out on. Here comes Boston 1-on-1. Goes past Eistead and scores for Boston! It's their third. Thurston's on the break. Celebrates in front of the delirious Boston fans. Forest Green find themselves 3-0 down after 30. Forest Green played in towards the far post. Bunker with the header, cleared off the line. The second one sees it back. Bunker gets that goal back, wins the first header, Bickersley to him. Powerfully stops home for the first goal of Forest Green. It's Forest Green 1, Boston 3. Clark, 45 yards out, finds the horseman on the right. Who's in the area of Forest Green? No one. Ricardo Reese at the edge of it. Knowles at the edge of the area, goes into the box, takes a shot, and it goes in! It goes in! Knowles gives Forest Green hope. Places the shot in the area, and in 6 minutes of added on time, Forest Green have made it 2-3, and it could be game on.
That's the way it finished. Forest Green Rovers 2, Boston United 3. Ida Davies dropped us a line on the social, said I've watched a lot of football over the years and seen many games. Listening tonight, I'm not saying this in a gloating sort of change way, but it's my belief the players are not playing for the manager. Has Robbie lost the dressing room? Asked Dave. Mr. Vince, not renowned for keeping managers around that long. He's had a lot of money to spend on new players. Cottrell got the boot for failing to get promotion. Surely Savage will too if he doesn't begin to see results. Your thoughts welcome. Text the word Gloss and your message to 81333 if you want to get your thoughts in very quickly there. The scores tonight in the National League. It's finished Halifax 2, Rochdale 2. That's a great result for Halifax. A 92nd minute equaliser there against the top of the table sides. Scunthorpe 0, York City 3. York now go above Rochdale at the top of the table with that 3-0 win at Scunthorpe. It's finished Southend 0, Boreham Wood 2. Tamworth have beaten Altrincham 5-1 and Wealdstone have beaten Brackley 2-1. So the top of the table then, York with 80 points. Rochdale with a game in hand on York have 79. Then it's Carlisle with 68. Boreham Wood with 64. Scunthorpe with 60. And Forest Green Rovers, who've played 2 games more than the sides above them, with 59. The final playoff place in 7th, it's Southend United with 52. So still 7 points separating Forest Green Rovers and that final place outside of the playoff places, because Halifax are in 8th, also with 52 points. Still very tight. Southend United have 4 games in hand on Forest Green Rovers as things sit at the moment. Other scorelines this evening. Newcastle United are through in the Champions League after winning their knockout round against Karabag 9-3 on aggregate, 3-2 tonight. Goals from Tonali, Joe Linton and Botman. All important goals there. If you're a Cheltenham Town fan, it finished Salford 1, Shrewsbury Town 2. Shrewsbury coming from 1-0 down. Former Cheltenham Town defender Will Boyle getting the winner for Shrewsbury. And that's a big win for Shrewsbury Town, who move up the table then. They're on a real run. And Salford, of course, who lost at Wadham Road on Saturday, losing again this evening to Shrewsbury Town. Shrewsbury 17th. They've won their last 5 games to move up the table in smart fashion with a new manager there. For Salford, they are 8th in the table now, having lost their last 4, so we're really falling away from the promotion push there. Elsewhere this evening in League 2, it finished Accrington 0, Barnet 1. In the Championship, Blackburn 1, Bristol Rovers 2, Bristol City 2, Hull City 4, Derby County 2, Middlesbrough 1, Leicester City 1, Swansea 1, Preston 1, Watford 0, Ipswich 2, West Brom 1, Charlton 1, Wrexham 2, Portsmouth 1, and Southampton have beaten QPR by 5-0. Elsewhere this evening in League 1, Bradford 1, Rotherham 0, Burton 3, Stockport 0, and Northampton 0, Port Vale 1. Those all the full times this evening in the world of football. Thanks ever so much for your company this evening. Sports bulletins, of course, tomorrow morning in your breakfast show, just after 6:30, 7:30 and 8:30 as always. Back on Friday nights with your sport at 6 from 6 through till 7. 10 o'clock news on the way. After this one, there's a newer single from Rick Astley. He's back with Waiting on You on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. Good night.
Through these alleys and long forgotten streets, who'd have guessed by chance we'd meet? Cigarette smoke and a cheeky grin. You play the game and always win. Take my hand to the laundromat, jukebox will dance. You'll be my world, will you be my girl? Someday I'll be waiting on you. Someday I'll be waiting on you. Under fluorescent lights, the night unfolds. Every kiss a secret told. Take my hand, under the sodium glow we'll dance. Will you be my world? Will you be my girl? Someday I'll be waiting on you. Someday I'll be waiting on you. Take my hand and say you understand that you are my world, that you are my girl. Someday I'll be waiting on you. Someday I'll be waiting on you. Someday I'll be waiting on you. Someday I'll be waiting on you.
On the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
Play BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
and on your radio.
The sound of where we live is
BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
At 10 with the BBC News, I'm Johnny Freeman. Police searches have concluded at Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's previous home in Berkshire. The former prince was questioned last week on suspicion of misconduct in public office and released under investigation. The 66-year-old has previously denied any wrongdoing. Lawyers for Lord Mandelson have said he was arrested at his home yesterday because of a baseless suggestion he was planning to leave the country to take up residence abroad. His legal team said there was absolutely no truth truth whatsoever to that claim. The former British ambassador to the US is alleged to have shared market-sensitive information with Jeffrey Epstein. Our political correspondent Joe Pike says Lord Mandelson's lawyers said the arrest came as a surprise.
Peter Mandelson was arrested yesterday despite an agreement with the police that he would attend an interview next month on a voluntary basis. The arrest was prompted by a baseless suggestion that he was planning to leave the country and take up permanent residence abroad. We've asked the Metropolitan Police Service, they say, Peter Mandelson's overriding priority is to cooperate with the police investigation. We also understand that one of the conditions of his bail is that he's had to hand in his passport.
A police chief has said there was a serious failure when a warrant to arrest a paranoid schizophrenic was not carried out. Valdo Calacane fatally stabbed 3 people in Nottingham in June 2023. An inquiry heard the 34-year-old was subject to an arrest warrant for failing to turn up at court after he allegedly assaulted a police officer the year before. The government has announced GPs in England will have to guarantee same-day appointments for patients with urgent needs. A new clause will be inserted in contracts from April this year. Ministers are also pledging £500 million to help practices recruit more doctors. The Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, has told the BBC there have been improvements, but changes still need to be made.
There is further to go, but I hope that people listening take some hope and confidence from the fact that the NHS is finally moving in the right direction, even if I'd be the first to say that there is still a lot more for me and for the government to do.
A mum and dad from Kent, whose son is the first UK baby to be born using a transplanted womb, say they've been given the gift of life. The womb was donated to Grace Bell by the family of a woman who died. Grace gave birth to her and her partner Steve Powell's son Hugo just before Christmas last year. And today marks the start of this year's BBC Local Radio Make a Difference Awards to recognise the unsung heroes in our communities. There are 8 categories. England Rugby Union star Ellie Kildunn was runner-up in the BBC Sports Personality of the Year contest. She's judging the Active Award in West Yorkshire.
Sometimes you don't realise how powerful your own story is, but you've got the power to inspire people to do some really amazing things. They just need to hear your story because everyone's got one. If the opportunity is there for your story to be heard, go for it, full throttle.
Nominations close at 5 p.m. on the 31st of March, and there's more information at bbc.co.uk/make a difference. You're up to date.